number come up, and there it is. right? That's, I mean, no countdown, but you just watch the corner and it'll come up. Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Michael, Destro Designs. We are live from Viper Den Studios. We have joined tonight by my brother Dave from the account Toy Picks at Toy Picks on Twitter. Everybody knows he runs a great account over there. I love how it's a constant, it's a call to action for engagement in everybody showing what they got, right? Like, I feel like that is such a cool thing in a sense that, you know, one of the greatest things about this community over on Twitter is that, you know, it's like, if you don't have anything nice to say, you don't have to say it. So why don't we all just, you know, hey, we're all amateurs, right? Like, you and maybe a small handful of other guys are like actual photographers. The rest of us are trying with our phones and doing whatever, you know what I mean? Right. But I feel like getting everybody to do that, bringing people out of their shell. I just wrote the article in lieu of having you on for Spentor's Lair. I mentioned you and some other people in it as like my favorites, but it's more like, hey, start taking pictures. Start taking pictures of your toys.
Yep. The one thing that I like to say to people is, if you had fun shooting it, it's a good photo. And I believe that. Yes,
for sure. And it's the joy, I feel like the joy is in the journey with that, right? Meaning, like, by the time I take the picture and I'm like, you know, gussying it up and then posting it, and that's all great. Like, that is all super fun. But when I look back at it, the labor of love and, like, you know, like, it's, so I did that Python Patrol shoot. It was like 60 figures. I had to get a gridiron weapon for 60 figures. You have to put them together. You have to stand them. And then, God forbid, when you take a picture like that, you're like, oh, okay, these 5 guys are just tweaked or turned, or it's sticking out to me. So now you're adjusting them. And you know how that is, where sometimes you'll see your shot and you'll be like, oh, I see this one little thing, and I'm just going to change that. But for whatever reason, you change it and you're like, oh, now the rest of it doesn't look right. Like, it has that weird, crazy effect. And you're like, okay, hold on. And that's when I had to get used to it.
I didn't think that was where you were going to go. I thought you were going to say, so you do that one thing and then the domino effect happens.
Oh,
and they all hit the deck.
So I've only had, it might be 2, but there's one that sticks out. Very early on, I was doing the Cobra Claw launching facility, which was a huge, you know, it's 3 sides. It was like 4 feet deep, and I had a bunch of figures on the thing. I had that like those catwalks set up. I had Vipers everywhere, tons of figures. I table bumped that, and I don't think there may have been a figure or 2 that were upright because they fell against something, right?
But then you just knock them over because now they annoy you.
Right. So I guess in all fairness, it wasn't as much of a bump as much as I was like going up and in. So it got caught like on my belt, the end of it. So I gave it the old lift. So it was, that one. I think I probably called it quits that night, if I can remember correctly. So So again, brother, thank you for joining us. We are going to get into the chat and see who is here. So, first and foremost, we have our brother Big Red. He says, just want more G.I. Joe. I want that to be on my tombstone. Brother, preach. That's all of us. There should be something down the side of every one of our gravestones. Like, we gave our heart and soul to that line of toys. But shout out to Big Red. Big Red is making a big move in his life. He's going moving from one place to another quite far. So shout out, Red. I hope everything is going well, and I appreciate you taking the time to join us. Hopefully we offer you a little reprieve from all the madness that is a freaking move. You know, nobody likes to move. Nobody likes to move. The last time I moved in here, that was like 8 or 9 years ago. And thank God. Spentor's Lair is here. He says, what do you want on your tombstone? Pepperoni and sausage. Little 80s memory drop. I think that rings a bell, brother. Thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate it. Spentor's Lair. God, I thought I saw some more people. It's those two. Am I missing somebody? Brother Orskizio is in the house. What is up? He is so I am from upstate New York in the Albany area. Orskizio is like maybe 2 hours west of me in Rochester, so that's cool. There's quite a few people. There's about a dozen. I think there's like 8 or 9 of us that are from the Northeast, which is really, really cool. Just another jerk is here. What is up? He's an East Coaster, just a little bit further south, but thank you for joining us, my dude. I appreciate it. Riptide O'Leary is here. What is up, Rip? Thank you for joining us, Rip. I hope this weekend is getting on better for you than last weekend, and I really appreciate you being here, my brother. And then we got Matt from Mo's Mind is here. What is up, Matt? I have teased. There's been in the last year, Matt's cranked out a few new things. And every time I privileged to see some of the things a little bit ahead of time. So Matt has really gone from he had all these great play sets to, oh my God, here's this giant atlas, which is the coolest freaking thing you've ever seen. And then he just diversified his bonds, as the RZA would say. And now he comes up with things like, oh, I got one right here. I haven't, Firefly's going to get this one, but he's got the slings, which are amazing. And that the mags line with the shield, a whole bunch of stuff. We could talk about those later, but basically what I'm saying, he's working on and then the Oracle, which is just toy photography excellence. That thing, looks amazing. But point is, I got to see he's working on something that again changes up the game. I don't want to say anything about it, whether it's something on the smaller scale or if it's something bigger. But you could see the beginning. He kind of talked about where he wanted to go with it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. So everybody stay tuned for that. Thanks for joining us, Matt. I appreciate it. My brother Ellis Dreadnought is here. Shout out to Ellis. I think Ellis, you were in the flood zone. I think, is that what you were talking about earlier? I hope all is well. John Spencer's here. Thanks for coming. Liquid Below Zero. Liquid Below Zero. Do I know you from Facebook, perhaps? Well, either way, thank you for joining us. Snow Leopard is here. Awesome dude, Snow Leopard. He is joining us, Dave, from the other side of the world. It's 2:30. It's like 2:30 in the morning now where he is. So I greatly appreciate you coming through. Dreadnought, Snow Leopard. Rollback is here. What is up, my brother? Glad you could join us. Rollback, every day we see something new. Coming from that toy line, man. That I can't wait till that hits. That is going to be awesome. If you haven't seen it, brother Rollback is actually. He's coming out with this whole line of figures. They're going to look amazing. I love the whole idea about it. And I'm writing a 12-issue comic and then a booklet in the beginning that's just going to be about those figures. So you have something to go on. Yeah, he had some really good ideas, and we're trying to take it to the next level. So awesome stuff.
That's going to be cool.
Yeah, definitely. Outback Action Figures. He says, "G'day, gang. Regular viewer on Toy Picks, but happy to branch out in a new community here. I hope everyone is having a great weekend." Well, thank you for coming over and joining us. I hope you enjoy it. Absolutely. Quentin Rom video. What's up, my brother? Call Sign Smash is here. Thank you for coming, brother. And I think that's going to wrap us up. Yep, very good. Awesome. So here we are, Saturday. I hope everybody had a good week. It was, I'll tell you, every time I'm in this period where I'm not coaching one of my daughter's sports, between the spring, it's mostly softball, and then there's basketball in the winter. And when I have this little break in the middle, I always look back and I'm like, oh my God, how did I manage to do that? Head coach this whole team. Cause it's like, it's so encompassing. And then there's times like now I got this finally in the final stages of doing this, my whole entire second floor. I'm remodeling that on top of, doing remodels at everybody else's house.
How long have you been doing that so far?
What's that?
How long have you been doing that so far?
So it's been months because we knew it was going to be a while. It's expensive. We were doing it in stages. To be fair, I did run into some things like 4 different issues that were probably about a month and a half out, because I'm doing it nights and weekends. I thought I was going to be able to get it done in this much time, but it's taken about this. It just is what it is. I'm also old. So I don't move the train still moves out of the station. It gets where it needs to go, but it's just not as chugga as it used to be. But we get it done for sure. That's been going on for a while, and it's a hot topic around this house. Everybody wants to get back to where they got to go, but no, they're supportive and everything. It's been great, and I'm thankful to have the ability to do it because you can't go get a new house. Like my kids are getting bigger, you need more space, and it's like, what can we do? Well, we can make that bigger, and everything like that. It's the only solution. So in the end, it'll all be worth it. But right now,
open plan. Just wipe out all the things that aren't retaining walls. Done.
Just go. That's I brought it all the way down to the studs. It's even still, I'm waiting to get. So I have tomorrow. I have one of my guys coming to help. We're bringing all the rest of the sheetrock will be upstairs, and then I can build the walls because the stairs go up in the middle and to set one room on each side, but the walls that actually separate them from that staircase in the hallway, I haven't built them yet because we were carrying the sheetrock up the stairs. So I was all right, well, so tomorrow that'll be done. I can build those walls. I ran all the rest of the electrical today. It's a lot. It's a lot. I can honestly say, I don't know if it's because I've been so busy with all the stuff that I do during the day, but like I felt like when I started, because it started with doing this half of the basement over, so that way we had more space to live. As we're losing the second floor, I said, okay, we'll do this. Now we have like a whole other space, whatever, and that's what made it possible. So I finished that, and somewhere in between finishing this and starting the upstairs, my body was like, okay, you're not listening. We've been telling you got to slow it down, because you just can't, whatever. But okay, so here's what you got now. We're running at about 75%. No, most days I'm still like a kid, but it's thankfully it's almost over, light at the end of the tunnel. I'm excited for that for sure. Well, honestly, to be relevant, it's taken up a lot of my toy photography time. Like I do, you figure Saturday nights and Monday nights, I wouldn't trade the podcasting hours for nothing, but that's, usually winds up being a good 6 hours that I'm in the studio, but not doing anything with photos. I'm fine with that because if I have to choose one, it's podcasting all day. But I very much have gotten away from the taking the pictures a touch, and it's not that it's a detriment, but I miss that positive that it gives, right? Mm-hmm. So it's, that's the thing that takes my mind off stuff. Because when I'm setting up a dio, I'm sure, as you know, it's ultimately like it gives me that same disconnect from everything as video games used to, right? Because you could sit down and sit in front of a video game, and like if you're like, I play a sneaky mission or something, you're in it, right? And it's the same thing with the photo where you got all these different, it's decision after decision that you have to make, and so it really takes your whole focus on that, and I do miss what it brings. How much time do you think you spend a week behind the camera or setting up?
I've been shooting, so I have a second channel that I've been experimenting with just to see how things work with Twitter and all that, to see about growth, because I would like this to be the thing, but I can't do that if I'm just constantly doing the same thing. We don't see much growth. So I've been using the smaller channel to figure things out. And the smaller channel is called Bot Pics. And so what I've been doing behind that, it's mostly Transformers. And what I'll do is I bust out the cell phone and I just take pictures, and probably 5 or 6 pictures go up in a day. And it probably takes me, because what I'll do is I just shoot it with this. I set up with all the lights, do all the things. I have a black backdrop. They're simple shots.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Probably in a day between, like, what takes me, where the time is for me is thinking about the shot. Like taking the picture and editing the picture probably takes all of 5 or 6 minutes if I'm just doing it on the smartphone. Now
it does go quick that way.
Yeah. So really though, if you count all the thinking time, you're probably there 2 or 3 hours to get 5 or 6 pictures, 5 or 6 quick smartphone pictures. Now, with those prompt pics you were talking about that I do with toy pics, then I might take, it depends on how elaborate the setup is. Like, as you know, you set up 2 or 3 figures, it's going to take a lot less time than setting up 60.
Right. So, or is it a new dio? Am I like making this, or am I grabbing the concrete wall and the brick wall? Let's put them together just to, whatever, as opposed to building a whole thing too.
Right. So, but I mean, the quick, simple pictures, that's nothing, but it's all thought. And so trying to come up with a photo, even when it comes to those prompt pics, I can usually snap it and be edited in 30 minutes. But you're thinking about it and you're trying to set it up. That's the stuff that takes some time. That might take another hour or so. So probably in a week, I would guess I spend anywhere from 12 to 15 hours.
Okay.
Shooting. Yeah.
That's nice. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. It was like when I first started, I knew I had like some ground to gain and I wanted to build a few things. So I was spending a fair amount of time. And granted, I think I was only doing just one podcast. And then for a while, not only was I doing it here, and then on Monday, I was popping up at these other places like routinely. And I was like, okay, I can't do, that's just too much. Right. The Saturday and the Monday are my bread and butter. That's good enough for me. If somebody, invites me now and again, it's fine. But so I'm trying to limit it so I can, but yeah, once that remodel is done, it's back to it. And I absolutely cannot wait. So we will jump right into the craziness that this was this week. I feel like if I sit down, I'd have to really look at everything, and I haven't had a chance to just like make it. But overall, I felt positive. Mm-hmm. I mean, not to jump to it, other than I was disappointed with the Thunder Machine a little bit. I thought it was weird. But besides that, I was pretty much just like, but the front, it's a unique looking vehicle. It's one of those things that, like, if you take liberties, it wildly throws it off because it was such a crazy looking thing to begin with. So it's like, and it was like somebody had said it looked like a funny car. We know, like the drag races where they're jacked up with the pointy tip. And I was like, oh, that's exactly what it looks like now. I don't know if that was just the power of suggestion or what happened there, but I know that it was like, yeah. So, but let's see. So I'm almost going to go. We'll start with the pre-orders that had me tight. So we got this back, which is pretty awesome. I only had, let's see, if I have two, and if I remember correctly, I was gifted one by my brother Rock Lockdown, and then I think I got a second one in a trade. God, I hope I'm right about that. And this is one of those figures that, like, it's with classified, I would look and go, I didn't have an attachment to it because it came out. I was like, kind of out of collecting by the time this one hit, and I didn't really like it back then. But then I keep looking at it and I'm like, all right. And then I got one and I was like, oh my God, this is an incredible figure. And that this is one of those. But man, when it's like you can't troop build with something that's like $75 on eBay,
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that they'd gone that high.
They were, I'm sure if you pound the pavement and look, you could probably wind up 60, maybe a deal with shipping, somewhere in there. But I know it was like every time I was like inquiring, not just for me, it was somebody else I know that was looking. So I was like, and oh my God, there's a few figures that shot up like to that, somewhere between like $65 and $80 range. And it's just, yeah, who knows what it is. Spentor Slayer says Destro Designs has anyone found the actual Walmart link to pre-order the Range Viper? I have not found it anywhere. Well, I think they took it down after like it sold out. And then because I had somebody else say something similar where they were like, yeah, when I go and I search it, it says it's right there, but it's for like $128. That's some seller that just happens to be on Walmart and had that price out there before we got the new one. But it's just like, yeah, totally crazy. Riptide says, cleaning up my vintage Thunder machine. The new stickers come with the Firebird sticker for the hood. Haven't made up my mind whether to use it or not. Thoughts? I mean, it's basically what it is, right? It's the chicken bird. It's the T-bird. I think I don't know, man. I like the idea of it for sure. We'll hammer down a little bit more on that when we get there. But yeah, Range Viper. What do you think about the figure, Dave? Any interest in a Range Viper?
I will tell you, I'm a terrible G.I. Joe nerd. I mean, I know my G.I. Joe from way back and all that. It's not that I don't know him or anything. I'm a terrible nerd in that I love the designs for Classified. I love what Lenny and Tony and those guys were doing. I miss them sitting down and telling us what went into the design.
Sure.
I am terribly picky, and I've gotten to the point where if a figure doesn't come with extra hands, it doesn't get a second glance. So now that said, again, I love what they've done with the Classified line. The Classified line, I think, is the only Hasbro line that is made that's worth the money. So I'm like, I love what they do. I just, because of my own idiosyncrasies, I suppose, and because of the photography thing, because I feel like you need extra hands to make the figures do a lot more things. Right. That's where I'm at when it comes to these. But again, I love the design, but I don't want figures to just stand around holding guns all the time. I want,
that's true.
Fists. I want maybe open hands, something,
Right. I mean, especially what burns is a lot with that too, is that it's like it's been put out there that it's pennies. Like it's just absolute pennies to put them in there. And like when you don't get them, it's like, well, okay, well, that's fantastic. So we'll move on over here real quick. The other one that came up for order at the same time as Range Viper is Night Force Psych Out. Shout out to my brother Conrad. It's like his favorite figure. I think they did it justice. I just hope that it means that we will get like the in a retro card. We'll get because the original Psych Out was that neon green. Dude had, it's something similar to his head. There's a way that they could do it and get those popping colors on there, because I actually like that figure too. When I was a kid, I still have my OG one, believe it or not.
Nice.
I had 2 big boxes full of stuff that I had into my late 20s. I was like 27. I'm pretty sure I was like 27. I moved from one place to the other, and I left those 2 boxes and a couple other things in a closet. And when I went back to get them, it was too late. They had already cleaned it out. Who knows? They were just that. It was, I'm actually more upset about it now than I was then, because at that time I was not. I was just kind of like, that really sucks. But then I had so much other stuff going on, late 20s, idiot. I just was like, I didn't really think about it. But when I started collecting again, I was like, dude, I would have a whole wall of the studio would be all my 3 3/4 stuff. I just build a display just for that and set them up and leave them there like that. Because I still have massive love for the 3 3/4 line. It just comes down to, and I'm sure you've probably heard this sentiment echo before, like, we're older and bigger now. So holding the classified pops in the way that the 3 3/4 did when we were little kids, right? Because it was, to scale. When you look at a 3 3/4 now, the details, unless you get like one of those Skeletron figures, the detail on a 3 3/4 is, so-so. And so that's what makes it. And I feel like, yeah, sure, it would be great to be able to build dials for something that's this big, because you could do a 2-story building like super easy. You could have them lined up down the whole, whatever. But it's just something about that 112, especially for photography. I feel like it definitely looks better. Now I do take shots. I slowly built. I have a bunch of carded 3 3/4, and then I got loose so I could stand them up. Where figures I was obsessed with that as a kid. Most recently, I got Ambush, who that was like towards definitely the end of collecting, but that motherfucker kept me around for a while because it had all the gear, and the fact that I can make that little tent that he could hide in. I just, when I got it in the mail and I opened it up and I took it out, sitting right here, and I was like, oh, this is why I was obsessed with this kid, because even now I think this is awesome. So it was for the love of the game on that one for sure.
No, and I do think the Psych Out looks pretty sweet, but I'm with you. I had the original too. And I love the crazy colors on that thing for whatever reason. And I'm the guy that I was a much bigger fan of militaries, the bigger part of this. All the other stuff is very outlierish. Right. So for me, when G.I. Joe went, and Psych Out was the exception. Somehow, I don't know how, it makes no logical sense. But when they got Neon and Ninja-like, that's kind of when I was less into getting them.
Same. I think the neon hit a lot of us. Looking back at on some of the neon figures now, I go, oh, you know what? The figure itself isn't bad. The color still sucks, but the figure sculpt is there. There was actually quite a few figures, even like the Battle Force 2000. That at the time I was like, eh. When I look at the actual figure, you look at the figure, they're sweet figures. The card art sucks ass, and then like the rest of it's just not good. The weapons are not good, but the figures themselves were good. So I was just like, oh, okay. So there's definitely an appreciation for it, but at the time it was like, no, really. I talked about this a few times. Like, what did it for me was, I think it's in 92. They dropped now Low Light is one of my all-timers. He's right up at the top of the list. And then they came out that version 2. Now, when you look at the figure now, it's not terrible. It's still not Low Light, but it's not terrible. But when you look at the card art, he's in like a fishnet shirt that's cut off. Like, it's I was offended. I think even still to this day, I'm offended by that's what they want.
I have not seen that card art in forever.
Brother, it is bad. You know what? I have a picture of it somewhere on here. I don't know if I'll be able to pull it out. It would take too much time, but it's bad. They also came out with the Snow Serpent version 2 in that same year. Now, again, not a bad figure. Call it literally anything else. The original Snow Serpent is what? I mean, in my opinion, it's probably one of the coolest 3 3/4 figures of any line. I mean, there's not that there's many, but like that is an all-time, all the accessories, the card art, the whole thing. They're phenomenal.
Well, and then they came out in 1985, which is the greatest year, so he gets a pass.
Right. Yes. 85, 86 to me are, I wrote about how 85 sets up 86 in a way. So if I felt like in 85, they give you the rest of the icons, right? Like the upper echelon character / figure type shit. And then in 86, they just fill in all the blanks below them, like with Beachhead, Low Light, and then all the way to the other end where you got dudes like Sci-Fi. You know, there's that one piece of G.I. Joe art where it was on lunch boxes. You've seen it. It's like a bunch of dudes, Low Light on the bottom. Sci-Fi is going like this. Roblox is swinging in. Well, some weird Temu version of Roblox is swinging in on a vine, and there's somebody on a recon sled or whatever that is. That to me, that's like my definitive G.I. Joe art. That's when my mind was like, I couldn't even hear or see anybody talk about anything else. It was like, I'm sorry, did you say G.I. Joe? Or like, no, we said this. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I heard G.I. Joe. Yeah, I was a very obsessed kid. But yeah, I think they set each other up. But more recently, like I've looked, and there's no disputing how like those earlier years of what made the line. But when you look at now, 87 was weird. Like that's when you got Balrog or not Balrog. Oh God. The boxer guy, Balrog is Big Boa. Thank you. Oh my God. I'll never live that one down. So yeah, Big Boa, Raptor, they got figures like that. So it was kind of a weird ass year. But 88, 89, even 90 were like, I look at that, I'm like, oh, I love all of these figures. All of these years are absolutely amazing. Some of my favorites are from those years. Alley Viper, Shockwave, Hit and Run, Ambush, Salvo, Lightfoot. Like those are the ones that I'm totally obsessed with.
That was when Stalker in his kayak came out too, right?
Yes, like that was 80.
That was one of my all-timers there.
Dude, if somebody said that that's their favorite thing they ever had, I would be like, I agree. I didn't have it. So there's a bunch of things that I didn't get till like way later. Like when I was 9.5 or 10 or something like that, it was towards the end of the collecting, but I was still fully in it. And it was I had hit up like there was like 2 or 3 garage sales over the course of one summer. I had like lawn mowing money, birthday money, and I just bought everything. Like, you know how it was. I just like anything that would see, I'd be like just gobbling it up. And I had quite a collection, you know, by the time I stopped. But a lot of the stuff, like I didn't have a Snow Serpent until later, and then I wound up with like 2 of them. I got a Terradrome that far back. So like all like this, there was a lot of like iconic stuff. You know, Stalker with the version 2, just a bunch of things like that I didn't get till then. So when I like try to formulate my list, it's like, well, I didn't have that one. As much as I can look at it and appreciate it, it's I go off of that one. But yeah, so that's one of the coolest little kits. I loved all the little sets. Because you could bring them places and move them around, right? Like I had the surveillance port and that little bunker, you know, you could bring them anywhere and set up, and you had an instant thing. The Terradrome, I could hardly get out of my room, you know, turn it sideways and walk it out. You couldn't bring that into the yard. So it was
the Terradrome's not going to the playground with you.
Nope, for sure. So let's see. And we got 3 new retros coming. Here's a Valkyrie.
They look great.
They do look great. as much as, you know, if they're just giving us the Valkyrie with the slight difference. I think my brother Jeremy Kimberlin, Facebook group The Pit, I believe he said the other day that it was the Valkyrie body with the 60th sniper arms, which gives just the difference. The helmet and everything is a little different, but that's a great troop builder. You know, if you can wind up getting any of those for like less than retail somewhere along the way, that'll be a good steal.
I'll tell you, when I saw these, my first thought was, man, like I love red, clearly. Like I'm a red guy. So when the female Crimson Guard came out, I still need to get a couple of those, but they come with extra fists. And I thought, you know what? Let's get a couple of those, get a couple of these, and then swap out some of those extra hands and all that and have some fun. I think these look great, and I think those look great. And that is one thing that Classified does. They seem to give the females some extra fists, and they give the larger figures some extra hands. It's just like your regular run-of-the-mill size guys that don't tend to get them unless they're retro. Like this loser here. This is somebody that I pick on endlessly. His name is Duke. He's a terrible character, great figure, but I give him crap all the time.
Nice.
Anybody watching this that is on Toy Picks, they know. They're like, oh, here he goes about Duke again. He's going to rip on him all day.
Well, you got that sweet Flint custom too. That one is that is super nice. I enjoy that one for sure.
I appreciate it. I can talk about the formula there. If
Yeah,
anybody,
sure. If you got
if
a hand,
anybody-
you pull. Yeah, let's take a look.
like if anybody's into Monster Force and has some Valaverse weapons laying around, that's a Valaverse backpack is what I used there. And it's just the green set. And then Valaverse shotgun. Let's see, that it's a Keltec. I call it Kelly because why not?
There we go.
There we go. Okay. So we've got this. I believe this was Weapons Pack India that the shotgun came from. Then
Awesome.
this is just the green backpack from one of the green backpacks from the green backpack set. And you've got, I think the only things that are actually G.I. Joe that are the retro Flint is the torso and the arms, and then the piece under the diaper. The hands and basically everything else below the neck are Operation Monster Force Phantom Corps Trooper.
Ooh,
And the
okay.
shotgun shells being from Operation Monster Force Captain Gridiron, or I'm sorry. Well, I just did that. It wasn't Captain. It's Commander Gridiron. Good Lord.
Commander Gridiron. Jeez. Oh my God.
Yeah, I died a little there too. We're good. And then so yeah, that's what's going on there. It's mostly Phantom Corps Trooper. The head, the Toy Odyssey on my channel recommended the Starduster head for Flint instead of the regular one, and it works perfectly. So anybody wanting to do this custom, that's what you get. And then that's the standard Flint beret.
Wow, that looks really good. I think the beefed up legs, I feel like the legs are beefed up from where the retro is. That head looks great. The hands, man, yeah, that looks fantastic. The knee pads go a long way. It brings, the just the regular retro legs look very plain. You know what I mean? And compared to that, so I think that's like a major upgrade. But it all fits, right? Like you can take any figure and try to slap like some Delta Red Monster Force stuff on there because that's an upgrade to most classifieds. So like you can that's easy to do. It's fine in the way that it looks and doesn't look slapped together. So I look at that. And I think it's like like a flawless custom. So I really do appreciate that one.
Well, thank you, sir. I've gotten to the point in collecting where I'm not, and I know most classified people seem to be they want their stuff to be larger. Like they want their stuff to be from the 80s and to just be upsized. I'm kind of over that. I think I don't want all 80s all the time anymore.
Yes, for sure. I agree. I don't necessarily either. It doesn't. I think they can do anything good if they put their mind to it, and I wouldn't blame it. Hey, girls, my daughters just came down real quick.
Oh,
you going to bed? Okay, come give me a hug real quick.
I love you. I'll drink while he's hugging. Yay, squirt. What are you guys drinking?
All right. Thank you for coming down. I love you. Have a good night, girls.
My live stream.
All right. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Thank you for coming down, girls. Yeah, when I first come down here, it's they're not actually in bed yet, so I always tell them if they want to come down and say goodnight. So I appreciate it. But so that's a dope custom, and thank you for sharing. I when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, look at that. So here we got Falcon, Flint, sort of Flint-esque in a roundabout way, but like definitely his own thing. And I think this looks great. It's almost like this is what we should have got when the first Flint came out,
the first Falcon, come on now.
Right. The other one is like the face. I mean, everybody says it's like the one they hate the most, but it's like the face is bad. But I don't know. I didn't see how bad it was. I guess in this one here, we got the like same backpack, but the big knife that stows into the thing. Upgraded primary, I believe, though. So that helps.
Yeah. And Falcon looks good. He does. Yeah, I'll definitely have to grab one of those. I mean, the Night Force Falcon is actually pretty cool too. If you take those shoulder pads off, even just doing that, you're like, oh, that's a cool figure. And also is something that you could kind of, if you got, I wound up getting a couple of them because they went on clearance. I missed the bulk of stuff that went on clearance at my local Walmart, but when I got there, there was they had 3 sets. I think it was a little less than 30. I think they were like 27, and they come with so much gear. I already had one at that point. I was like, all right, I'll just grab these. And if I decide that I've spent too much, I'll just sell one to somebody for the
for the discounted rate, but I wound up opening. I think there's one still in the box. But anyways, it's an awesome set. That one looks good, but this looks fantastic too. And last but not least, with the wave of retros is Flash, the much anticipated dude. Which I always liked Flash. I had Flash when I was young. I thought he was like, it was almost like I bought into the fact that everybody was lasers. If you watch the Sunbow cartoon, it's lasers. Yep. I just looked at him as like the ultra laser guy, right? He's got he doesn't have this little whatever, because like that basic weapon that they always used in the Sunbow was they were lasers, but it looked like it had a little something that the laser shot from, like a clip, so to speak. And so he's got the hose and the backpack, and he's got like the ultra laser. He's burning through his tanks, almost like I looked at it as like a the people from Star Wars could put that power into a little thing like a lightsaber. Our version of it requires the backpack, the hose, and the whole thing. And that's how I looked at Flash. Now I wasn't. It'll definitely be cool. OG 13 complete. Get all of those figures and everything. That's definitely cool. I'm happy that the people who really wanted them are getting them.
People are thrilled with this thing. I can't wait to see. Like, the one thing I see with this stuff is, even though I'm not into it because of the extra hands and all that, I think it looks great. Again, that's where I'm totally thrown off with Classified. I love the designs. But so where I'm going to love these is when people start taking their photos of the OG 13. Yeah. And then some people are going to throw Shooter in there, maybe cover her. Here's what you got to do, folks. Okay, if you're shooting the OG 13, you got to cover Shooter in shadow, because of the one little panel they had in G.I. Joe that had her. It was kind of, it wasn't a silhouette, but it was kind of like, it was really, the panel I'm talking about, right?
I think so.
Okay. It was, they weren't showing who the character was at all. It was just like a solid yellow or something with a black line around it. I can't remember. Shooter under there, and I'm like, come on. You want to take a picture of the 13 so you see them clearly, but Shooter somewhere in the back in the shadow. I think that'd be sweet.
That is
to see what people do.
That is awesome. I love that idea. I'm sure anybody that's listening will probably try to get that done if they've got those figures, because that sounds sweet. My brother Conrad, G.I. Joe guy, is here. He says, waiting to see how the HasLab Flit head looks in person. Agreed. I think that might wind up looking really, really good. I one way or the other with the some people really disliked that we were getting a Snowcat, but I was excited. They showed off that bivouac, and I'm a sucker for something like that. And I was like, oh my god. I tried to order two, and they canceled one of my orders, and there was nothing I could do about it. I was actually really upset. I was getting kidding. Yeah, it was like a month later. I looked, because I was like, I think I was even doing the banks, and I was like, I felt like I had more money, and I didn't go to look for it, but it was like the next day I remember going through and being like, wait a minute, does that say canceled? And I even called up, and they were like, oh yeah, no, I think they something, my bank didn't reject the charge. It just wasn't allowing them. I don't know, whatever the hell it was, but I didn't wind up getting it. So that kind of sucked. G.I. Joe guy, Conrad Hauser in the house. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. Justin LMK, thank you for coming, my dude. Giant man size thing. I'm sorry, I'm missing all these comments. Pop Cold Frenzy, thank you for coming, my brother. He says 82 straight arm Flash was my first Joe. Excited for him. Now that's cool. Definitely. My first, I've said famously, constantly, I should say, is I got the Destro and Snake Eyes version 1.5. I got them both at the same time. That was my doing.
That's killer.
Yeah, that was the first set. Spento's Layer says Destro Designs now discuss the card art for this. Yeah, that's we've discussed. I wrote a whole article about the card art and some of the stuff that I disliked. There was a few of them. I took a couple of them to task for sure. I try to make it funny in the articles when it works, and I was definitely using the subject matter. Well, basically, it was like, if you remember, famously, some of the card arts that they were using, it was like it appeared to everybody that they were like using AI art. Like, they were like, remember Wild Bill,
Cover Girl. Yeah, I know the wave you're talking about.
They, you know, and they were like, no, we're not. We're not doing that. And then as much as I took them to task, I also said that it was pretty cool because if you look at that new retro Techno Viper and the retro Grunt, they are true to what that original card art was, like the original one from the 83 line. The Techno Viper they changed it. The backpack is upside down, I think, and something, but it is same pose basically. It's everything that looks pretty good. So I had to give them the kudos for that. You know, when I look at these card arts, which I don't have those pulled up, they're I feel like they're close. I haven't actually looked to see if they were exactly, but like I know that this flash pose, what they're doing here, is what it looks like on the new card art and what it was back then. So I think that's a step in the right direction. You know, as much as I will bash, I will also give the kudos where it is supposed to be. So we're gonna take that off.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now is where I actually have to like. If it looks like I'm doing something, it's because I'm pulling up more pictures. I have to sit down and look at this because I feel like there's a way I can load. Because right now I can only load, if there's two of us, I can load 8 other things like right here onto the bottom. But I feel like then I have to go off like the other app down here and drag them in. And I feel like I should be able to just have it over here and move it onto the stage. But I haven't figured that out yet because I spend no time doing this unless I'm actually live. So let me pull up.
Yeah. Same here.
What is that? Oh, there we go.
And I'm looking right now because I'm on StreamYard too. It's got a few pluses and all that. So I'm seeing if I can tell anything down here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's well, we'll pull this up so everybody can view. Now, I have to say, I was pretty impressed by this. I know it's a repaint, but I actually like it. It looks really dope. I don't know what else to say. Like, you know, it's 100% a repaint, but something about the colors and the way that they did it, it just looks right. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, man, that gets added to my little hiss, my Red Army and all that stuff. That would be a lot of fun to get 1 or 2 of those. Haven't pulled the trigger. Don't know if they're still available or if they've even gone up yet, but they are. They are ridiculous.
I think everything that we're going to show from here on out, with the exception of Lara Croft, has yet to get hit for.
And Lara's pretty much a phantom at this point.
And what's that?
Lara's pretty much a phantom at this point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. Wow. I mean that. Oh, hold on. Is that the right one? Okay, so
they'll do a second run of that though.
You would think, right? You would think. But sometimes a lot of what happens is so unbelievably baffling.
I don't know, man. That one, you know, the people with the license are like, no, do another run.
Right. Yes.
That sold so fast. Make it happen. Well,
I think that a lot of people were, you know, kind of saying the same thing. Like, okay, they are finally doing the vamp, you know, doing that again, which is fantastic. But it definitely seemed like it took. I mean, of course, it's not. You can't just snap your fingers. There's a lot involved in all that or whatever. But it felt like it took a long time. People were out there paying like damn near $300 for a vamp on eBay, which is insane. So there is that snake armor. I love the blue effects. I think it looks good. I actually have another set of shots so we can take a look at. Boop.
Oh, sweet. Do you have a vamp?
I do. My brother chucking and trucking. When the price was, I think they were selling for $270 to $280 on eBay. He gave me one for a very fair price. You know, he was like, I only paid $100 for it. And I said, well, I mean, I expect you to want to make something, you know what I mean? And, but he did, he gave it to me for a very fair price. So I love the white one is iconic to me, you know, the white snake armor. So that just holds a different place for me. But this, I feel like I could go 2 ways. I could put some gold testers paint on it here and there and make it an Iron Grenadiers, or I could add more black and get some Toy Hacks water slides, or have my brother Matt make them for me, where I could get some 788 stickers to put on there, because the 788 army is growing, right? I mean, we're getting trouble bubbles. According to the leaks that my brother Mark from Destro is my spirit animal got, one of them was that we're getting a stealth claw, which they said the same thing about the trouble bubble. It was a stealth trouble bubble, and it turned out to actually say 788 on it, which I'm thoroughly obsessed with. So the sign is back there, but yes.
Here's the problem with these live streams. You're giving me good ideas, and that means I have to spend money.
Unfortunately, the circle of inspiration that runs around in the community is probably keeping us all broke for sure.
Right.
But so the inside, the red definitely has a good, real good pop against the black. Again, looks fine with the white, but I think that looks this looks so awesome.
Oh,
the back,
looks incredible.
Right, like the boosters, just that little bit of extra color. With the yellow and the signs, I'm sure it says danger or warning or something like that. I can't remember, but how freaking awesome is that? So love it. Absolutely love it.
Yep. Same here.
I wish I had enough money to get a bunch of them. I was lucky enough. I think I ordered only 2 at first because I was like, yeah, it's good price, but $150. And then I was immediately, when I got them, I was like, oh my God, this is even cooler. Now that I have it in hand, I wish I got more. And thankfully they pop back up. I think I had gotten 1 for my brother Matt, and I got 3 more for myself. So I have 5 of them, which you line them all up and they look absolutely fantastic, but it's hard to get a good picture of that because you're either really far back, right? You can't see the details as good when you zoom in. You're like, oh, I can see 1, and then like a part of 1 over here. So that I look forward to grabbing a red one. I was like, man, maybe I could. Because the white ones are selling for a decent amount on eBay. I could probably sell one of those, put in a little extra money, and get 2 red ones, and just be like, boom, there it is. Good way to invest that. So some figures here. Boom. Now I know this is it's repaints. It is what it is. I'm interested in this because if only for the fact that I have been blown away by all the Mad Marauders. Like even the barbecue, you open up that Mad Marauders barbecue, you're like, okay, these colors aren't totally my colors. This is awesome. It just looks awesome. Same thing with really for no disrespect to my religious friends, but my come to Jesus moment was when I got that Spirit and Lowlight 2-pack, which I've talked about ad nauseum at this point, but I was dead set against it because I think that the way they look originally, first of all, to me, they're like upper echelon. Spirit is the coolest looking damn thing back then and now. I'm like, this, why mess with this? But when you get that out of the package, you're like, oh no, this looks absolutely amazing on him. Looks totally amazing. Lowlight, when you put a proper, if you got a gridiron, a proper primary, because the ones they come with it comes with the bat one, and it doesn't look good. But if you put something proper in there, you're like, oh, okay, this also looks cool. Maybe not as blow me away as Spirit does, but it's still really good. And Pulse wound up putting them. They had been out for like a year and a half, and then they popped back up on Pulse for like $27, like $27.99. That's when I was like, okay, I can't say no. The stars are aligning. I keep seeing these photos. Here it is, at almost 50% off, or basically like 50% off. So when I look at that, I go, yeah, okay. You add all that together. Now, Footloose, the original Footloose, I think is an amazing and kind of underrated figure in a way. And I say that because he I don't hear it. I don't hear him talked about enough. You know what I mean? He's just, I troop build with him, to be honest, because he looks like a, soldier. You get the, he's got the rocket launcher. Yeah, perfect. And, I see this and I go, yeah, all right. Something about the colors in these 2 pictures, though, and I even tried to dumb it down, the vibrancy of it. I was like, oh, maybe it's just it's a screenshot or maybe something. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But maybe, maybe there's something here that is, sending those colors through the stratosphere. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm almost sure that these will be good, and I will definitely be grabbing a set.
Well, and if anybody doesn't have the Mutton Junkyard, those are some of that pairing. I don't have these, but I do have the original Mutton Junkyard. and they're so much fun to shoot together. Like I had a blast when I first got those, just firing away on the lens. They're awesome. They're awesome figures, and it's a great pair.
Definitely, definitely. And I do remember, a lot of the sub teams back when I was a kid, I didn't know much about. I was aware of Python Patrol, and I thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I knew Night Force. I didn't really see any Marauders. I think these two, coincidentally, maybe my brain is making this up. I believe when I saw the only Mad Marauders I saw in person were these two. They were separate, obviously separate cards on each thing. And I remember going, holy hell. Fun fact about like those sub teams from back then that I heard, and I believe this is true. Some of the original G.I. Joe card art, the original that was like painted, doesn't exist anymore because what they did was,
I think I know what you're going to say.
when they made the sub team, they just painted over it.
Oh,
yep. So like whatever it was, Tiger Force. I think the example that was given was somebody from the Tiger Force, whoever it was Duke in Tiger Force. He was.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was the Tiger Force Duke, because that's like what if you had to pick. Duke, like Duke and Snake Eyes are one of those things. Like my mom knows who Duke and Snake Eye is. My mom thought Duke was G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, G.I. Joe. It's
I mean, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think obviously somebody was hunting down, trying to find. I want the original painting of Duke's card art, and then finally you hit a brick wall, and you're like, oh, it doesn't exist anymore because we have the Tiger Force now, which is a shame for sure.
I mean, that sucks for the art, but it is proper for the amount of respect that Duke deserves.
Agreed. Right. And I'm sure the dude was willing to probably pay a pretty penny for it, All right, cool. Well, I'm glad that you dig it too, because I'm super interested. Can't wait to get it. Next up, we've got something I am pleasantly surprised with, and that is, oh, hold on. That's not the right picture. All right, we can look at this while I pull up the ones. This was something I was using to talk about the other day. Well, good. We can get a good look at what the original one looks like. So first off, one of the things I actually like the way that the Sarge looks in this. Well, not this one, actually. Hold on. There we go. Oh, and there we go. So
people want to see this. They don't want to see us anymore.
I know, right? They've had enough of me for sure by now. My loud ass mouth going off for hours every week. So yeah, I mean it. Now, please, anybody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I heard it confirmed that the treads move. Those are not affixed. I think those treads actually move. If that's the case, then I mean, obviously, like everything these days, prices is I'm interested to know what the price is. Right. But God, it looks so good. And I do like the way the Sarge looks. I even said the other day, I was like, I'm pretty sure I think that I like this one better than the rest of them. Like, I think that this one looks amazing. Like, I think I did get the Mercer, what can we call it? The Mercer tan, the Sarge with the tan on it. Oh, did it again. Yep. And I did get that one, and I think it looks fine. I mean, I love the Sarge. There's not a bad Sarge. I guess we could start by saying that. But right. I don't know. There was something about it. And then I heard Chris from the Full Force, I think, hopefully Chris from the Full Force, I think, said it reminded him of a like a Night Force, or Night Force-ish. And then I thought that was cool. So I was like, yeah, right. It kind of hit me, and I was like, ooh, that now we're definitely talking here. All right, so yeah, I had another picture. I'm trying to find it. I got it right.
No, you know what hit me about this? He has the extra hands, obviously. I'm a fan. But I like the idea of him with just the helmet and the yellow glasses. For some reason, the Sarge with yellow glasses, I thought, okay, that's kind of cool.
It's that canopy, I think, looks great. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I think there's a lot, even as kids, you looked at something like that and you were like, he's out there. It was right up there with like the Fang, how the rotor blade was right above your head. Also up there.
Don't stand up in the Fang.
Do not. You gotta roll way out up your head. what was the one of my favorite vehicles, the Havoc, had poor cross country just right up there, like, really, really crazy.
The Havoc would be an instant buy. They make it made to order. They make it HasLab. I will get the Havoc. The Havoc to me
Yes.
is very much GI Joe.
Well, the rumor, or possibly I think it might be like commonly known by now, was that we were like this close to getting the Havoc instead of the Snowcat. Like the focus group actually, I think it test again. This is where I can't remember specifically. I think it actually tested better, but for whatever, there's other factors. But the focus group was like, give us that Havoc. So imagine what that looked like, bro. And now this year, I mean, I can't speak to the future. There's a lot going on at Hasbro. Taking a step back from the HasLab this year, not doing it because I guess they're not doing it for any of the lines. Then you go, okay, well, there's a big shakeup. They're moving. I don't know. They don't want it. Hopefully it comes back. It was slated. Everybody assumed basically how they did the Joe Cobra. It was going to be a Cobra based on each one had a like a tank style and then a tank style and a flying one. So It was next up to say that it was Cobra's turn and we had moved on to water. So everybody was like, maybe it's a moray, who knows? But unfortunately, no freaking HasLab. But this looks cool. I think it looks great. I actually have another picture here. I'm going to show. Let me get that one up. There we go. So there's you. Look at the Sarge leaping out. It's actually an amazing shot. Yep. So last week on Destro's My Spirit Animal, Brother Dave brought up something, and I kind of seconded it because I thought something was going on, and I didn't know if it was either that like there was going to be something that you could tow onto the back or how it was set up. But like if you look at that white part that's just above the treads, if you look at it from a different angle, it looks, instead of like going up a little and then turning like this to like angle around where the treads are, it goes up and then shoots like up off of it. Because if you look at how high that is off of the tank treads, I don't know, there was something that just caught my eye about that. But anyway, it turns out that I don't know if it's one means the other, but the back falls down, like, and you get a whole thing in there, which I think is pretty darn cool. It's just an added element, and I think probably a smart one by the design team, because you figure you've got that thing, it's already there, you're using plastic. If you just add a little more, you give it a feature that makes it look like you're trying. You know what I mean? I don't know, I found it interesting. So is this something for you, brother? Did you say that this was for you?
You know what? I don't know. There's enough. The funny thing about the whole toy photography thing is when you're collecting so you can shoot photos, you got to buy a lot more than just figures and toys. So you have to figure out, you have to triage it a bit. And unless something just reaches out and says, you must get this, I just don't know. I had the Triple T as a kid. I thought it was fun. This Sarge is amazing. Like if I could get this Sarge for sure, I don't know. But the Triple T is not at all bad. It just
You might. Don't be surprised if people want a bunch of Triple T's, but they don't want a bunch of Sarges. I feel like there's a probability that Sarge will pop up on eBay for probably 40 or 50, and then say, I mean, who knows what they're going to charge for this? If the despoiler was 110, I don't even want to think about what this could possibly be.
But I mean, I love the look of it. Like I think that the classified design team deserves everything, man. These guys do put their heart and soul into it. I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm burning any of the design teams. I know that the lack of extra hands, because we've all heard Lenny talk. Lenny would of course give us the moon if he could.
100%.
So it wasn't a shot with any of them. It's the accountants are keeping me from my extra hands, man.
Right, for sure. Well, I think that it's, I would say, just because it speaks to our community also, that nobody is, I think we all get that the people who design this have absolutely nothing to do with what they actually allow to go in, right? The design team gives their biggest suggestion, and then the people that probably should have no say whatsoever are the ones that actually make the thing. So no, for sure. I definitely, I mean, I largely don't have issues with anything, like from a design standpoint.
No, same here. This looks wonderful.
I like all of it. I think I've probably said Like one thing, but again, this isn't even the design team. The retro carded Snow Serpent, they should have went fully exactly weapon wise. They should have had the AK. He should have had the rocket thing in the front. He should have had the same, like all of it. It should have been exactly the same. And the fact,
you think the layout on the card should have been the same as the layout in 85?
Oh my God, dude! It's if you told me that was your favorite card art, I would not argue with you. It looks unbelievable. Like my Alley Viper Shockwave Beachhead happen to also be some of my top like 3 favorite figures, but they're also happen to have the top 3 card art. And the reason that I covet the card art so much is because when I was young, I feel like when I was holding the figure I saw the card art in the figure. That's like, because like, dude, I'm telling you, man, when I first got that Shockwave, I remember that I and this might sound crazy and maybe I'm a little off, but I feel like I spent just as much time staring at the card art and just imagining things as I did with the actual toy. You set the toy up, you play it, but then I'd be sitting there and I'd have that freaking card art and I would just stare at it because it looked, the color was awesome. The pose, it was just like, I don't know what he was doing. He had that other hand up like this and he was just like, so yeah.
That was me with the file cards. Like I would just read and that's why, people will say you like Flint because of the cartoon. I'm like, he was in the cartoon, but he was just your generic leader in the cartoon. You read that file card and you're like, this dude is the man. That was my first G.I. Joe was Flint. So always when he's the one, and I'm sure with you, with guys like Snake Eyes and Destro and Shockwave, if they get released and something's wrong, you're hypercritical because of, your attachment to those guys,
How I liked it as a kid is definitely indicative of how I react to what they do. Like there's a lot of examples of them taking something that I loved back then and doing it justice. Like I think Scrap Iron is freaking a million out of a million. Then you look at what they did with somebody like Tripwire, where it's Tripwire to the core, but they jazzed it up with all the gear and all the stuff, and they made him from like what was back then a dude who just was like with his metal detector into one of the if again one of those things. If somebody was like Tripwire is my favorite classified, I'd be like I can see that. I can see that. He's amazing. So the design team has been knocking it out of the box. Like one of the, it caught my eye over here, Airtight. I loved him as a kid, and I think it looks absolutely phenomenal. Like really, really amazing. So actually love that. Oh, my brother Evil Dookie in the house. What is up, my dude? How are you? If you are not following or subscribed to my brother Evil Dookie over on YouTube, he's got one of the coolest channels for customization stuff. It's a great hang. He's a great dude. But it's they literally mess with it and make customs live. Oh my God, I always forget what is the other gentleman's name, brother? It's escaping me to say. I can't think of to save my life, but him and then one other gentleman are usually on every week, and that is Friday nights. So make sure you all are over there checking that out on his YouTube channel. He's also Outhouse Customs on Instagram, I believe. Let me know if I got any of that right or wrong in the chat, my brother, for sure. You got it, dude. 100%. It was a guest on the show. It was fantastic. And I can turn. He does a lot of good edited videos too, where he shows off a lot of the customs. He's got like a whole world built around the Dreadnoks, and it's all phenomenal. It's great.
That's sweet. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good stuff. The Sarge, good. We seem to agree on that it's nice. We all love that the back folds down. My brother, just another jerk, pointed out that it's just like whatchamacallit. Just like the Transformers version. They had the Triple T with the Sarge. That was the Transformers one, and I guess that one did it too. So that is a good key that maybe that's what we got there. So
I think that one came with leatherneck too, so it looked just like the card art from the original.
Oh, that's right. How cool is that? All right, so something else here that I think I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this one. I'm pretty sure I've seen some posts. Boom. There she is.
She was one I was on the fence about, and just like FOMO works, once she sold out.
Panic.
I'm like, what did I do? What have I done?
brother, that is exactly what happened. All right, so the day that the what do you call it? The day that the Range Viper and Psych Out dropped, I totally was like,
woo! Hey everybody. I don't know what happened, but I still have my squirt. Let's see here. I do have the comments pulled up. So I'm assuming he's still on. Let me see what I can do here as far as comments. Because oh wait,
sorry.
Here we go.
Sorry, I have this. I drag my finger sometimes when I'm moving and I'm trying to load up more pictures. And yeah, it's and when I leave the studio like that, I lose everything I had up there. So I'm starting.
I've done the same thing. So it's like the arrow shows up and suddenly you've reversed out of it.
Yes. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh my goodness, where were we?
We were talking Lara Croft.
Oh yeah, so Lara Croft. Hold on, let me pull her back up here. So I mean, God. Well, let me ask you this: are you a Lara Croft fan? Liz, did you play the games? Was any of that? What?
Not really, but I like that Classified is branching out some. Like they're giving us new characters. They're giving us characters from other universes. I think that's something that's very cool. Good. So I don't know. I saw her and I'm going, the only video game stuff I have is I have a lot of Jada Street Fighter and I have some Jada Mega Man. And so then I see her and I'm going, I should expand on the video game stuff a little bit. And then she sold out. Oh man, I really need to expand on the video game stuff. So yeah, I do think that I'll end up pulling the trigger on her whenever she's available again.
Right. Very good. Very good. Well, it came back up on Amazon too, I think. Here we go. And that gives us a look at what a loadout, huh?
Oh,
how cool is that?
Oh yeah. She comes with all the things. And I know I know that people talk about pricing with all this stuff. I haven't seen the books. I don't know. So all I can say is because I don't get tons of stuff these days, I don't get tons of figures. Like I'm not trying to collect the whole thing, right?
Right.
When one pops up that you look at and you go, that's really cool. The price is less relevant than if you're trying to get the whole line at $30 a pop,
Right. True. I mean, yeah, the loadout looks like we're trying, for that price because it's a tough one, but I'm sure I heard somebody mention, licensing fees. Obviously, they have to pay for using the likeness and everything like that, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I get it. And I actually did like Lara Croft as the video game. I thought it was good. Like it was one of those games that when I kind of got back into gaming a little bit, I've like solid Metal Gear Solid Snake is what got me back for sure. I bought a PlayStation and that game like came with the bundle that I bought from somebody, and it immediately was like totally into it and back it. And it was like that moment I was like, I'm back. I'm totally back on this. But Lara Croft, Tomb Raider was one of them. I think I tried to go back and look at like the gameplay of it all. And I think it was, I feel like number 1 and number 2, because once I started seeing like the images of games that like it was at the graphics got to a certain point, I was like, oh no, I didn't play that one. It didn't look that good. And so I think it was like 1 or 2. So excited for sure. I did. Thank you. There was a bunch of people, Country Gentleman, Michael Munn, and Storm Shadow 82 had all reached out to me, but I had actually ordered it from my brother Dan Salcedo. Texted me and was like, yo, it's up on Amazon. I was able to secure it and good.
Fantastic.
My brother Thano Karamalis is here. Thank you for joining us, my dude. Congratulations on seeing the finish line of your amazing new toy room. Very, very cool. Let's see here. Where do we go? What else do we got here? All right, so that's Lara Croft. We're gonna move on from that, and we're gonna get into reveals. So first one I want to pop up here is this one. So this is what they told us. Now, if you watch the fan stream recap thing, the guy said it's maybe this is what I was confusing. He said it's Night Force without actually being Night Force. So meaning they're going to probably make him look like a Navy SEAL, and
Right.
just, he's not going to be Night Force, but it's going to look that way. It's muted colors, something of the sort. Now I made that part up, but based on what they had said. So I've got some interest in this. Is this a version of Shipwreck you're interested in?
Oh yeah, for sure. I do like. I mean, I like the other one, and I've considered going back and getting the other Shipwreck just so, because I have a couple hand packs, like Valaverse hand packs, that I could replace his hands with. So I've thought about going back to getting him, because who doesn't love Shipwreck?
Right.
And
right.
this one for sure. Like, I mean, for whatever reason, maybe it's just because it'll be a more modern update, or modern update. Go redundancy, but a more modern take on everything. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's what has me interested in this guy, but I can't wait to see what they do.
Very cool. Yeah, agreed. I'm very excited. As much as I love Shipwreck, and I think the classified's a cool figure, and I loved him in the Sumbo. I need him tactical. I need him to look like he can actually get into something for the pictures, because it just stands out. He tried to do, you look like he should put his hands in the air, like, no offense to the Navy uniform. I'm just saying, like, he doesn't look ready, know.
Right.
All right, very cool. So yeah, excited for that. Where's the other one? All right, so this I'm excited about. Throw that up there. Hardball, I think is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was in Mad Marauders too, or wait, there was the original Mad Marauders, and then I think, like, as time went on, they added Hardball and somebody else, CoverGirl, I think, to the Mad Marauders or something like that. Because I know, so maybe we get that version too. But I can't wait to see what they do about his primary. That thing's just a big, almost like a mortar launcher. You know what I mean? I know what it's supposed to be, but you look at the size of it and you're like, oh yeah, no, that thing is badass. And what's cool with something like that, like I was showing off that sling earlier. When you have something like that, you could sling, just a subcompact on there, and it'll look like, he's ready to do all levels of battle, mid-range, short range, you're not trying to just wipe, you run out of whatever that thing is, unless you got another one of those cylinders in your backpack.
Or a bunch of baseballs is a bad thing.
Right. Doing outfield drills. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I can't wait to see what they do with it. I wasn't into the comics that much, so I really wasn't sure what happened, if he was a character in there or not. But I know that when I seen him, I was happy that they made him, and then I finally did eventually get him, and I just absolutely loved the weapon. But the figure turned out to be, like, way cooler than I expected it to be. So stoked about.
I had Hardball. I thought he was pretty sweet.
Oh, nice, very good. Here is one that I am very excited about, is the Heat Viper. This is one of my, one of those ones in the later years. The colors sort of matched the Alley Viper, so I always had them together, right? Like, there's somebody holding the shield, and he would be, like, coming out from behind the side with this big, huge thing. They were like a formidable team. And later on, I wound up getting multiples of both of them, and so I have, I think, 14 original Alley Vipers. So I'm not going to get that many Heat Vipers, but I'll probably try to get however I could, like, break them up so it looks even, like three of these, three, and then one of. So I'll probably wind up like 4 of them or something, because I'm interested, again, with a huge, primary like that. I'm very interested to see what they wind up doing with it. So very cool. Here we go. Ninja Force, Snake Eyes, and a different version of Jinx. How cool is that?
I mean, I like what they've done with Snake Eyes already, and I like the original Jinx. But, I mean, I can't wait to see what they do. If they make the Snake Eyes right, and they've got some extras, I like Jinx. Like, I think the first Jinx they made for Classified, I think that was a great figure. So this looks like, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, we're not looking at the actual figures here. But if she's just another all 80s all the time, I'll probably pass.
Yeah. I would agree. I have to see what's going on there. I have every version of, I think this is the 11th version of Snake Eyes in the classified line, which,
Oh my God. I have not been
listen,
keeping count, but wow.
he's an icon, right?
Mhm.
So I get it, and it sells, and it is what it is. I got to see what it looks like, because I
Right.
got to be honest. I got the OG Jinx. I think it's fine. You
Mhm.
know, we'll see. We'll see. What did you think about Shebang and the Scarlet 2-pack? Was that interesting?
It was interesting. Here's where my whole rules about extra hands hits me is they give extra hands to all these characters that I care less about. Like Shebang and Scarlet, they look good, but I like the older version. I wish they would update Scarlet to make her look more militaristic instead of more Ninja Force, which I know that that was what she was way back when. But one of the things that I loved about, like we were talking earlier, I liked the majority military and then the outliers.
Right,
So I
right,
was
right.
good with Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, Jinx. Those are the ninjas. And then they started branching out and getting way into all kinds of ninjas. And the comic turned into suddenly everybody was a member of the Arashikage clan. And I'm like, no, 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 no good. But that's where I am with Ninja Force. Like I like a lot of the design work, but just it left a bad taste in my mouth even back then, I guess.
For sure, for sure. That it was definitely part of the thing that was prying me away from all of it, like without a doubt. But
Right.
you know, again, I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden they show us like the figure, and you're like, oh, that looks ridiculous. I have
Oh
to.
yeah, like what you're saying, Slice and Dice looked amazing.
Oh, forget about it. That's what's really opened my mind to it.
Mhm.
Because it's what was the Ninja Force Zartan Wild, not my Zartan, is
Right.
still a great figure. It still looks amazing. I saw somebody, my brother Mark Potter, changed. I think it was his pants, and he
Okay.
put something else on him, and it looked even better. It was fantastic. It's a great figure. Actually that's one of the ones I have to take out of the box. But it's like actually all my Dreadnoks are in the box. I was always waiting to do this one big photo shoot with them, and I never got around to doing it, and blah blah blah. So,
It's
but Jeff,
close.
we
It's
got
close. We'll be doing it soon.
yeah for sure. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I agree that we're in lockstep once again about the 2-pack. Basically, it's show me what you got when they got it.
Mhm.
Now let's see. I think the last render is boop. There we go. So I mean, it's like once you see the funny car thing, you can't unsee it.
You're right.
You
Like as
cannot
soon as you
unsee that.
started saying that, I'm like, no, don't do it.
You did it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. No. I couldn't agree more. It's very much like, man, I
I will
wish,
say when it comes to renders for any of this stuff, especially with Hasbro,
right.
everything to me looks way better when we actually see it in hand than when we see the renders. So
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
hoping that what happens here is once we see the actual thing, we'll say, oh, never mind, that's pretty sweet.
Right.
you know?
Right. I was hoping to see like the whole front just be like those two huge Vulcan cannons, right?
Mhm.
I wanted to see that, not like spilling over the sides. Obviously, it has to be. You got to have some space on each side of it, but I wanted to be big and honking. I like the metal scoop on the bottom. Like, yeah, sure, I'll take something like that. But and I did hear that those red panels in the front come off, which may change it a lot because
Mhm.
that was definitely like open. That was one thing I remember as a kid where it was like, oh, this thing is barely held together, right? It's
Right.
like, it's like if they didn't have those cannons in the front, it would like fly up every time that they hit the brakes, like a funny car. So, which is crazy. But they got one big singular, jet thing on the back there because the other one looked like they sewed a jet or welded a jet. So listen to me, welded a jet engine onto the
Mhm.
back of that, and that's what I thought was happening. So,
We'll
yeah,
see. I mean, maybe what happens is we haven't seen the whole thing from the render. Maybe when it's actually officially revealed, we'll look at it and say, "Oh wow, look at this piece here. This can attach here." You
right,
know, there
right.
could be. I'm much. It's like it's like movies getting announced, right? Or toys being on a rumor list. When I see
Yes,
the actual product or a prototype, I know it's coming. and let's judge at that point. Like I really think until renders get a little more advanced, I think they do any kind of marketing a disservice. And when it comes to movies, it's kind of like until I see a trailer, it ain't happening. So I'm kind of that's where I'm at here. Okay, render's pretty. Any of us could have made that on ZBrush or whatever. Let's
right. Yes.
and let's see a prototype and see what happens.
I'm with you on that. Definitely all about, just staying positive till they give us another reason to be like, oh no, they're not going in the right direction. So wide open there. Evil Dookie says the front end changed from a Firebird to a Falcon. Yeah, that's right. Matt from Mosmine says, do you think it's built off the Striker body? Striker body.
The Ostriker.
The Ostriker. Jesus. Oh my God. Without the O in front of it, apparently I'm clueless. I don't think so. I mean, well, actually, now that I'm like looking over at maybe, maybe I can't honestly, brother. I think I'm not one of those guys that can pick apart the parts. Usually I don't think I had the RAM to pay that much attention, but now that you say that, and I'm looking directly over at my Ostriker, it does have a very starts out, and then as it gets to the front, it thins down, quite a bit. I want to say yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. I guess that's the best way I can answer that question. Spencer's Layer says the digital render scale and size is off, so that hurts the presentation. I agree, which, I'm sure obviously they just wanted to get it out for the SDC, so maybe they didn't take all the time that they wanted to take, and just another reason why I'll be like, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Snow Leopard says plastic battles mentioned on the stream, that it's modular and there would be multiple pieces that you can take off and modify. Yes, so that's great. Spencer's Lair also says the missile launchers are from Heavy Duty, right? The two little jammies up there, which is cool. I'll take it. I like how they actually have the flame, although it looks like the flame is backwards again, where you're supposed to have the white coming out and then anyway, at least they did. At least they did that. I guess that's the best we can do. Chris from Sister Arsenal's here. What is up, my brother? Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. We were just kind of going through the renders here, and so yeah, that's the last one. So we are, hey, SDC and brother, I should have asked, what other stuff that you saw from the SDCC, and I could have pulled up some other pictures. I was, G.I. Joe tunnel vision, and I didn't even think about it.
Don't even worry about it. I'll tell you that the things I'm most impressed about coming out of SDCC right now are things from Operation Monster Force, like Big Bad Workshop. Everything they're doing is insane, and it's very compatible, obviously, with G.I. Joe.
Yo, so, that nun, what the nun, the lady that's got all the weapons and stuff, crazy.
Yeah, and I think as G.I. Joe fans, it is our duty to go all in on Fury Force with Larry Hama, with all that stuff.
We owe it to Larry. I mean, who knows how it's not, maybe he gets a back end percentage as well, and maybe they just, however they worked it out, but definitely got to support him. I mean, it's like, I always said if I ever won the lottery, I would just drop a bag of cash on him. Like, here, hopefully this helps, brother. Like, you deserve this at the very least. You and Ron Rudat too. So a lot of people I feel like should, especially, I guess if you grew up mostly on the comics, didn't have a lot of toys, maybe that's not the same. But for me, it's like if it wasn't for the toys, I probably would have thought the cartoon was cool, but it wouldn't have been the same thing. So I feel like what Ron Rudat did should be, mentioned sort of in that same breath there. But that's
wasn't he pretty much everybody through 85 or 86, something like that?
I think 87. I think 87 because that's when we got Raptor and Big Boa, and it was out of he had made 100 figures at that point, more or something like that.
That's insane.
But yes, I believe that's correct. Is every fucking one all the way through. Maybe there's other people helped or added to the look or something along those lines, but no, it's basically he did it, which is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, that's incredible.
For sure. Here we are, moved on from that part of the show, and I'd like to talk about how you got where you are now, right? Like I feel like we all have the GI journey, I like to call it, and I feel like a lot of times it all, loosely starts in a very similar place. So I always find it interesting. What did you collect as a kid?
Oh man, we're giving away ages when we do that.
Right.
See, I like to tell people my first crush was Miss Pac-Man.
Cool, very
Probably,
cool.
let's see. I would say the first thing I really remember getting into was Return of the Jedi stuff, like Star Wars figures way back when. Motu, I was into that quite a bit. And probably after that, I mean, Transformers and G.I. Joe basically took over.
Yeah.
Like those two things, those two properties went pretty much hand in hand. I was allowed to get into Transformers at the beginning because mom was cool with robots shooting at robots, but mom was not cool with people shooting at people.
Many such cases, brother. Many such
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So anyway, got Flint in 86, and that's when my stuff started. So I got him during the year that you dig so much, like with General Hawk, a friend of mine, we went out, and the family was very much, if you're getting something, your sister's getting something. So it really messed me up when what she wanted was Lady J and I got Flint.
Nice.
That was a little Star Wars crossover there. That was weird. And then a buddy of mine wanted General Hawk. So I'm like, okay, here's the first three. So we ended up with those, and it went nuts from there. The stories or the things that I need from Classified still because of collecting as a kid are the Havoc and a Silver Mirage motorcycle.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, I've had a lot of people mention that as they really want it. It was also made a lot of appearances in the Sunbow cartoon too, which I do that Good Morning Post thing, and so I put a clip. So I'm going through every episode by now. I started with the movie, I did all the miniseries, and then I started through episode 1. I'm almost done with the first series. And one thing I noticed is that Silver Mirage kept popping up. I was like, I didn't remember this being in the cartoon as much, but there fucking is. Like not every episode, but a lot. There was a few in a row where I was like, this has been in every episode for like a hot minute here.
Yeah.
So was G.I. Joe number one, right? I mean, or was Transformers, or were they just
hand in hand? Pretty neck and neck. I think Transformers ended up pulling away a little bit as G.I. Joe. I don't know what the deal was because Transformers was pretty much ending at the time that G.I. Joe started getting a little less the stuff that I liked so much, But I think Transformers ended up pulling away just a touch, but I would still pick up the occasional G.I. Joe. Like I probably had some Joes through about 92 or 93. And like I say, it wasn't that, it was never that, it had to be military. I could get some of the weirdos outside there because some of those just appealed to me, like Psych Out. I thought Psych Out was very cool for whatever reason.
Yep.
So loaded up with him. I'm trying to remember the other weirdos. I even got, what was it? The Cobra Commander that had like the red faceplates and the gold helmet. I can't remember what version that is. But I got him. I got the Destro that didn't look near as good because he had just the gray mask instead of the chrome mask. I think those were around the time of that second Snow Serpent. But I can't remember exactly.
God, I can't remember that either. I know what you're talking about, though. I can see it in my mind.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean that was. I mean, I would get them all the way through, and then when the 25th anniversary came out, I went nuts. I got if anybody here, I'm sure some people have heard of it, a website called JoeDios.com. It's I don't know if it's still up and around or doing much, but I was one of the guys. My name on there was Dave CW2 because and we would post, like me and some other guys would post all the time on there, and it was 25th anniversary figures. It was whatever the line was at like 30th anniversary. There was just so much, and I remember being crazy proud when I had put together my 1985 set from the 25th anniversary. I was just like, yes. This is the best, including an Ostriker. So yeah, that was kind of what started it. And then once G.I. Joe was announced for 6-inch, once Classified was announced, like that day I pre-ordered the Snake Eyes. like that. And to this day, that is my favorite snake. That is my Snake Eyes. Like there's no reason to get another Snake Eyes for me.
Wait, which one was that? What Snake Eyes?
0-0, the very first one.
Oh, sure. That's a dope figure. Yes. Courtesy of my brother, listen to me, of my brother Riptide. I'm actually going to wind up opening that one. Nice. Even though, listen, because I could put all the packaging back in there, and the packaging can sit up there nice. That figure is ridiculous. I might put it in something hard so nothing happens to it when I'm storing it or anything like that. Because right now I don't have this set up. Me fixing all the shelves down here is after obviously the aforementioned remodel, obviously. So right. I will have displays or whatever. So from now I have everything in, like, let me show you. I can show you real quick. I have shelves upon shelves put up, and here is I got a night viper on top because I looked to see who was in here, and so I have them like this. all the accessories are in there. Oops, looks like I got a Hit and Run is in there too.
Okay.
And, so I went on vacation like 2 weeks ago, and I brought a few things with me. I brought 3 of these totes. One had like a light and some accessories, and the other 2 had. Well, the whole idea started. I wanted to do a sand. I have 4 sand scorpions open. One I'm sending to my brother Matt, but I was going to do a sand scorpion shoot with desert snake eyes out there, and they were going to have a battle. He was going to kill all of them. And the one day that I had kind of set aside to actually go down there and do it by myself, like for, early in the morning. I couldn't go early in the morning. And then I still brought him down when we went to the beach in the afternoon, but it was literally 100 degrees, not the heat index. It was 100 degrees. And I was just like, I couldn't even, just sitting there, even though I was in like the sunbuster, just sitting there thinking about doing it. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 beads of sweat roll down my face. I was like, I will lose my mind and scream at some kid running by. Like, I was like, I 100% don't. I was like, I can't do this right now. And so I
have no Jill.
No, for sure. And like, I was also one of those things too, where I was like, all right, I'll bring these toys, and as long as it's not taking me away from something that's happening, it's fine. So every time I would say to the kids, hey, I even started bribing them. I was like, I'll give you guys each $5 at the arcade if we go down to, and they're like, $5, that's like 5 games. He's like, we'll be done. And I was like, okay, fine, $10 a piece, and we'll go down. And they still were like, no, it's not worth it. 50, we'll do it for 50 each. And I was like, what? And so, but it was smart negotiating. They knew it meant something to me. And so they were like, yeah, 50, hand it over or whatever. Very good. My brother John A. Brown, the writer, is here. Seen him in the Twitter community as of recently. Thank you. He says, hey, Destro, checking out your show for the first time. Cool setup. Been listening the whole time and thought I'd say hi. Well, thank you for letting me know you're here, because like I tell people that all the time. Just pop in, say something real quick. I can't, I always forget to add comments to the screen. This just remembered. But yeah, I always tell people you got to say hi. Otherwise, I don't know you're there. There's not like a list. I can't go down like the videos or whatever. Chris from Sister Arsenal says to him, John Brown, the writer, welcome to the addiction. Yes, for sure. Absolutely. We all need a meeting. Yeah, been lurking, posting AI images and videos all week. Finally joined the party. Well, thanks for coming, brother. I appreciate it. We got a good thing going on here. So, settle in. It's a good place to be. I always say it's the best place on the internet. That's what I tell people. You can't go too many places where everybody is as absolutely positive and encouraging. And we have a really good time. I love it. It's been good. There's been plenty of people that have said the benefits of the community. Like ever since there was a few things that happened early on that made me go, oh, this is the thing I should be doing. And one of them was like, the story with my brother CG Horror and I, he helped me get the printer. We got to know each other really well. He was having like the struggle, even though we were like strangers. I was like, I sent him a little something, and just the power of getting something in that moment. Like, oh, it meant something to him. And I appreciate him being open, not just to me, but about everybody about what it did. I felt like it really sparked something. And then I just, it was a few other things after that I'm actually drawing a blank on for some reason, but some of them, to all the way recently, like Brother Rip making this massive donation yes, we talked about this last week. I will be drawing the raffle all that stuff this week. I might do a single show on Wednesday, maybe just to do it separately. I didn't want to do it now. So basically I've been writing all the names down. Basically what it was is we had a raffle for our brother Animus. Animus had some tragedy in the family, really tough situation. And we wanted to help out. So per the stuff that brother Rip had donated, as well as my brother Just Another Jerk, and I'll get it. So I'll just run through it really quick. Country Gentleman donated a HasLab Cobra Commander, the Mickey Mouse on card, complete, sealed, the whole thing. There's a special prize, so that's for. I believe it was Night Force Big Ben is the third prize. Second place is Mutt and Junkyard, the original set, all complete, everything in the box. And then the first prize is a Serpentor in the box. It's all right here. I just got a bunch of stuff stacked on it, so I don't want to mess with it. But yeah, Serpentor is number one, which by the way is selling for about $280, 250, 280, somewhere in there on eBay right now. So that's a valuable item. And then on top of that, once those are drawn, I'm selecting one more from somebody that doesn't win out of those four for the rest of the pool. And our brother Chad, who is Cletus of Cobra, who is an excellent artist, he drew me this little Christmas card thing. It was amazing. I sent him like a 5-minute voice message about how much I loved it and appreciated it. It was really, really awesome. So what he said is that he would donate to whoever doesn't win out of the four. He'll draw that, that person's character, that whatever they want, and then he'll draw Cletus with them, or just the other one, whatever they, basically he's like, whatever, like two figures, we'll figure it out. And I said, all right, man, that sounds great. So that's the fifth prize. Now, if you go to the pinned tweet on my Destro Designs page on Twitter, that is where all the information is. There's still time to get in. I'm going to probably, like I said, I want to do it Wednesday. I talked about it last week. It was like, yeah, hopefully I can get to it, because I want to go through on Instagram and all those other places that I have Destro Design set up. I want to run it through there. I did it like in the beginning, and I didn't do a good enough job. I think I just kind of posted it once, twice here and there, and then that was it. So I want to circle back to that. We'll get a big push for the next couple days, and then we're going to do the drawing, and then we'll send my brother Animus the money. Everybody will get their stuff, and it will all be awesome. So very excited for that. Let's see. I thought I saw Big Red says there is too many good channels to watch. I can't keep up. I know there's that, which is good, man. It's a good thing to have, without a doubt. But I thought I saw Kalel 327 in the house. What is up, my dude? Our carded king. I have my 1 day chip. See how long this lasts. Yeah, we all have like a big one of those water jugs that you put upside down. We have a water jug full of those 24-hour coins. 100%. We just go through them constantly. And I feel like I don't know why that happens all the time. Call Sign Smash, those major blood picks are awesome. Yo, Call Sign Smash has been crushing it in the toy photography recently with a nice little story too. Absolutely love it. Very, very good. Outback Action Figures says there's truly something magical about the action figures community. Pretty much everyone I have met has been amazing. Well, it's this little community is where it's at. If you venture too far into some of the Facebook groups and stuff, it's not awesome. They're crazy people. My brother Jeremy runs the Pit, and the Pit is fine, but it's like, a lot of those other places are actually, I'm in 5 or 6. I shouldn't say that. I'm in 5 or 6 good channels. Their names are escaping me. G.I. Joe Classified Community, I think, is one. I haven't seen too much, rabble rousing, I guess is what we'll call it. Right. So, all right, well, cool. So basically, Transformers and G.I. Joe led the way. What about the like the Sunbow cartoon and the comics? Is that something that got your attention?
The comics got my attention later. The Sunbow cartoon, when I was a kid, I checked that out quite a bit. That and Transformers were pretty much back to back all the time. So I was watching those a ton. And the comics, I read both comics about the same time. They were intertwined all the way. And yet somehow in my brain, no, let's not put G.I. Joe with Transformers. I think that's a mistake. Let's keep them separate. But yeah, in my brain, all the way, those two things just stuck around. And in fact, I've sold it's very strange. So I had a lot more classified than I do now. And there are a couple figures that I regret selling. They're mostly the Cobra Island Cobra Trooper. That figure, for whatever reason, I love that thing. But I got to a point where I'm like, nope, if they don't have extra hands, they're gone. So I got rid of those. And I'm looking back at those going, now that everybody's made some black hands,
Right.
I should probably see about getting those again. But when I think about all the stuff I've sold and bought and everything over the years, because, we all go through phases with that stuff.
Sure.
Only things I regret selling are some Transformers that I got rid of. Other than that, everything else, I'm like, well, okay. So I think I'm more prone to crazy robots. That said, I love the G.I. Joe stuff. And there are characters that I want to build. Like, it is kind of addicting. After making this Flint, I need to make a Stalker because I feel like Hasbro hasn't quite gotten the Stalker yet. So I want to make a Stalker next, and I don't know yet how I'm going to build it. But I keep looking at figures going, man. And I will say, this is the Phantom Core Trooper from Operation Monster Force. This thing is ridiculous.
That's on my want list, 100%.
You get them, and you get the loadout set that comes that you can get with it too. So you're paying $60, but you get basically he's 40 for the figure, 20 for the loadout set.
Okay.
And once you put those together, you just get a ridiculously cool figure. And this thing can be the base body for about 1 million customs.
Right. I agree. Does the chainsaw come off of that? Is that what that is? I didn't have my glasses on.
It does.
It does come off.
What do I have? Did I leave the attachments here? You know what? Hang on. Oh, no. And then the bag was open. All right. I'll be right back up.
Take your time.
So, it comes off. He comes with just a normal gun, too. And then these are some of the attachments. So you can add in a shotgun instead of the chainsaw, and a grenade launcher instead of the chainsaw, because the whole thing at the beginning seemed to be zombie type stuff. And it's as easy as just unclipping it from the front of it.
Perfect.
So this thing, I keep looking at it going, can I just drop another 40, then spend whatever for a stalker face or a stalker head and put that on and be good. I just keep wondering.
I love it. John Brown also says he's going to have to get the gym bag full of Joes out of the attic and start taking pictures. Yes, my friend. That is it. And listen, if anything we're saying isn't evidence enough, go over to SpentorsLair.com. The article dropped yesterday where I talk about, it's time to start taking pictures of your toys, and I kind of go into what I feel is the benefits. I thought it was very good for me. I mean, in all jokes aside, like we need to stay sharp by like doing shit. And I feel like there's you can have a lot of fun and really work your brain, and being creative, I think is good for you. But absolutely. Especially the vintage. Love to see the vintage, Riptide and Big Red echoing those sentiments as well. Let's get them. So very, very cool. Now, how did you collect? We talked about this backstage. Did you have the Black Void period of collecting? Did you take a hiatus?
I did, but when I look at it, it wasn't like it was. I've always picked stuff up sporadically. So when I would say the least that I probably picked up was probably about 5 or 6 years around, I don't know, right? Honestly, around the time the Bayverse stuff started coming up for Transformers. Around then, I just didn't like the different designs and all that stuff there.
Right.
And figures, I wasn't picking up much. When 1/12 scale became a big time thing, that's about when I started back. Like I was picking up Toy Biz's Marvel Legends in 2002 or whatever when that first started. And then I got Spider-Man Classics before that. So that stuff I was getting interested in. But the first figure I really remember shooting was I got the Takara MP1 Optimus Prime, like the first Masterpiece Prime. And that's the first thing I remember really sitting down and shooting. And that came out, I think, 2002, 2003, somewhere in there.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay.
And so I picked that up. And then for a few years, I was picking up some Masterpiece Transformers. And after a while, I go, I can get rid of these because then they changed the design. And then after Hasbro started making Marvel Legends, because they had a couple years at the beginning where they were really bad. So I thought, okay, I'm not getting these at all. And so that was about my hiatus. It ended up being less because I didn't want to collect and more because there just wasn't stuff I was all that interested in collecting, I think, at the time. And then when I think the first thing that really brought me back, as much crap as I'll give the Marvel Legends accountants, the first thing that really started bringing me back was there was a wave with Wolverine and Rogue and Wolverine, Rogue, the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure wave way back when.
Okay. Okay.
And so that got me in. But at the same time, I think the 25th anniversary of Joe was 2007, and I started going nuts there. So it's always been sporadic. Like I never had a time frame where I just, no, I'm good, I'm done. It was just, yeah. It was, I mean, the more I think about it, the more I try and come up with the Black Void period, which I love, by the way. I love thinking of it like that. But I don't think I really had one.
Nice. I mean, I feel like I would say somewhere, I think I was like 12. Towards the end of being 12 is when I think I stopped wanting to buy them because it was the figures, I just didn't like them. But I still enjoyed, like I remember taking them out. I had a built-in dresser inside my closet, and I remember having them all just kind of, the stuff was like up on a shelf and in the drawers of that built-in, but on the top I had them all set up. And I always like going in, I'd maybe take a few of them out, I'd set them up on the windowsill, leave them there for a day. So even as I got into being a teenager, I still loved G.I. Joe. I liked looking at them. I still thought Shockwave was cool. There was a part of me that thought I was going to grow up to be Shockwave. And then I was closer to a punk criminal kid than I was an actual
Instead, you were going to be Torch.
Right. Yes. I was closer to a Dreadnought than I was Shockwave. That's very true. But I loved it because I wanted to be in the military, but I was like, yeah, I hate flying and I don't want to go. I don't want to leave the country. Like literally as a kid, I kept thinking that. I was like, if I could be like stateside army. And then I was like, oh yeah, Shockwave SWAT team. It's basically, crazy kid thinking, but yeah. So I basically then, towards the end too, Turtles got my attention. So I bought all 4 of the Turtles and then traded my Turtles for cops. One was like Bulletproof, and then the dude with the dog and somebody else. It was 3 cops for all 4 Turtles. I thought
that's interesting. We were talking cops today, and I'm going, I only remember Bulletproof. Like I don't remember. I remember watching the show, but I only remember Bulletproof.
Yeah, he was super popular. I think even was there a cartoon? Because I feel like he was like predominantly shown in the entry thing, and then as well as like in the show, if I can remember correctly. I feel like that's
Fighting Cry. I'm in a future time, and I could never do his voice. He had like that super deep voice in the cartoon, I couldn't do it.
Colel says Bowser and Blitz. I do believe that was the guy and the dog that I had. I think that's what he's referring to.
Okay.
Serpentor Slayer said Mike cheated on G.I. Joe with women. It's shameful. It's true. It's really what it was. One of the articles I wrote for Serpentor Slayer was like, it was when that 1992 lineup came out, and then like in that same part of the year, I, kissed a girl, tried a drink, smoked some weed, and then that was it. And I was playing
game over. Something else to spend money on.
Listen, it's a hard mountain to climb over, especially the women alone, the women thing alone, or significant others alone. That would be a real something else to come back from. But there was a time, so it was like fast forward to, I think you had mentioned the same period. It was 2008 or 2007 when Walmart had all the 25th anniversary stuff. I remember going into Walmart and seeing. I got the the Fang, the Hiss 1, the Hiss 3, and the Awe Striker all in the box. They were like $2.99. I was like, oh, I'm definitely grabbing those. Look at how awesome that is. And then it was a handful of carded figures. Like I think I got a Snake Eyes, a Duke. There was 2 of like these new Cobra Troopers. One was the Missile Trooper. One was somebody else. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I remember that granted, they went right in the box up in the closet as soon as I got them. And then like, I think later that year, my mom got me, do you remember when they did the Mass Device CD?
Yes.
So you get the CD. Yeah. So my mom, cause she knew I loved Destro, my mom saw it. I've got it over there. It's got Destro, Roadblock and the Vines, and then Lady J, Kick-Ass Lady J. Speaking of Lady J, it looks like the voice actress for Lady J, Mary McDonald Lewis, is going to make an appearance at Viper Den Studios. It was thrown out there on the timeline. She reached out just before I started getting ready for the show. And I was like, hey, here's how I do it. Let me know if this works for you. Anyways, so when I get off of here,
congratulations.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, I met her. So what was it? I think maybe 2 months ago at this point. I'm from upstate New York where Albany is. It's the midway point between Canada and New York City, right? Okay. So I drove down to it was the Cradle Con. It was the Cradle of Aviation complex. And I drove down and I met my brother CG Horror, who I had gotten incredibly close with over the course of the year. And my brother Riptide, who I also became incredibly close with in a very short amount of time. He brought his lovely family, Mrs. Tide, Little Rip. It was a great time. So not only was I meeting them, Mary was signing autographs at the thing. I actually have her autograph on the Lady J picture up there.
Congratulations again.
But what struck me a lot is not just that she interacts with us on the timeline, not that she's gracious with her, but it was, at a time when she could have been behind the table, earning money. She was over here standing with us for like 15 minutes. She took a picture with us, and like, I understand that's what you're there. You're there to make the money. You take pictures and you just give people your time for the money. That's what it's for. I get it. And she was just like, nope, I didn't get the picture, the whole thing. It was great. So she was incredibly gracious with her time. I very much look forward. I'll probably have, CG Horror on. And if Rip wanted to join us, because we were all there, we all met her together. I think it'd be great. So, we will do a very, nice, good interview style show. I think it'll be fantastic. I mean, I put effort in a little bit into what I do with everybody, but that's like, a famous voice actress.
Right,
so
right.
I would be incredibly.
Let's learn the things.
Yeah, let's roll out the red carpet. Make sure that you're doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing. No, but she's fantastic, and I think it would be great. Everybody in the same conversation. Actually, that was all brought up by my brother Big Red in an incredibly very nice post. So he had posted out about how much he enjoys the show. He's always said that it's like the best show on Saturday nights, which I take to heart, man. I think that's fantastic. And I always appreciate Big Red support. So he put it out there. He's like, hey man, how great would it be? He has all these great guests all the time. How great would it be if we had, Mary and Sergeant Slaughter. Now I actually had thought about reaching out to both of them, but one, I know Mary's a busy lady. I didn't know. I didn't want to put her in a position to say no. And I don't know why I thought she would say no. It was just
to feel like she had to say no. You want to be careful with that too.
Right. Sure. Yeah. I'm on a very popular podcast with my brother Mark, but this is this podcast. So like, it's this little thing. I whatever. But anyways, so I've got a Big Red threw it out. She was like, I would love to. And like I said, beginning stages of the exchange. Now I had also thought about reaching out to the Sarge, and he has a agent of sorts or something, a contact point that you reach out to that guy and he will book and schedule the things. And I'll see. I mean, could you imagine having the Sarge? I mean, I think seeing him in person, you have to have that experience, but like, it would still also be cool to have him on for a few minutes. He could call us all maggots and tell us that Cobra doesn't stand a chance. And, I would love it. I would be great. Now, just a quick tidbit. My brother Chris from Sister D Arsenal, who's here in the chat, was down at Joe Fest. So the Saturday of Joe Fest, he was live in the lobby, and he kind of had turned the camera so right over his shoulder you could see the Sarge. Now, I definitely didn't expect Chris to go up to the guy and say, and I don't even know how cool that would be to be like, get on a podcast, that sort of thing. Chris did an amazing job. He was our live correspondent. We talked to a few people. GI Dave did a good job keeping everybody posted on the timeline as well. So big shout out to Dave for that. But yeah, so anyways, the Sarge, it would be great. Serpentor's Lair says, Mike, contact Kelly Slaughter, his daughter, and see if you can get her and him both. I'm sure. I didn't know, because I thought anytime I've directly spoke to Sarge and said, because I actually tried to get him to do something in a DM for somebody, just even to send a message. I was like, I'll pay you. He's like, you got to call the guy. And I said, oh, absolutely, 100%. That's order of operations. It's probably a good way to go. And yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Big Red says, Destro Designs, don't sell, you're so short. This is killer. Well, thank you, brother. I would love to find a way that, so I have a contracting business, which is why I'm able to sort of move things around and do what I want, how I want to do it. And so it was like, if I could find a way to supplement any of this stuff that I was doing, whether it was the podcast or something, right? If I was in, I could justify saying, okay, I'm going to spend 2 working days, 2 8-hour days here in the studio getting content, upgrading the number. That's what I would have to spend the most time on first. If I was funded in that way, well, I have the writing that I'm doing. That's different. But I just mean for this, it would be putting money into the show where, I have the banners and much more, a bigger look, right? A better production basically is what it means.
Right.
Like I said, I sit down on Saturday and I start to just write some things down. I screenshot all the stuff for SDCC, and that's like the most work I've done. Also I show some pics of some stuff from my brothers, Matt from Mo's Mine and Chris from Sis 3D Arsenal. I love working with those guys. Their stuff makes my photography great. Like I've always joked that I'm not that good of a photographer. I just have a ton of really awesome shit in there. So people are just like, oh my God, look at this is amazing. And it's like, I mean, it's amazing stuff.
I mean, the stuff's good, but like there is something to. So one of the big tricks that I find with photography is if a figure is mostly in black, they're much easier to shoot, right? But there is something to a great figure being in front of the lens that makes you a better photographer, because you want to look at that thing and you want to make sure that it's just gonna pop, like that people are gonna love that shot. Nice. So wherever your skill level is or wherever you think it is, that figure is gonna bring out the best of you. That's fair. At least that's what I find with a lot of this stuff.
That's what's up. Brother Melted Copper is here. He said, thank you for joining us, my dude. He says, if Slaughter is on the show, ask if he can be an Iran sympathizer. Oh, right, because he had that. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, dude, listen, what was his name? Because I remember it was him and the Sheik. It was him and the Iron Sheik were the tag team back then in the 80s, for sure.
I mean, I remember the look. I don't remember. I didn't get into wrestling so much, but I remember when that was going down.
He had the white. I
remember what the tag team was.
Yeah, it was him, and he speaks very highly of the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, I've seen that before
for sure. I don't know if you ever seen him on the Howard Stern show. That I haven't watched anything like that in a very long time. But he used to go on there, and he was a crazy person. It was very entertaining.
How did I not know that happened? I joke on my live streams a lot about me being a bad nerd, and then I hear that, and I'm like, I'm a terrible nerd. It just rolls off the tongue faster to say bad nerd.
Right. I like it. Spentor's Lair says, I mean, Mike's so popular, made a figure of him for SDCC and showed it off this week. He's wearing the shirt from the figure tonight. Now, that's kind of funny. I was on oh my God, just the 3PO podcast with Laser Pants, Jeremy, and Sam the Newsman. It was a midweek mayhem, and that was when they just revealed the SDCC thing, and so Serpentor's Lair has also spotted it as well. That he pulled up, he was like, we were looking at it, and honestly, I couldn't tell if he had thought about this beforehand. It sounded like he noticed it in the moment because he was like, wait a minute, what is it? hold on. And he pulled up a picture, and it was an up close of Shipwreck, kind of head turned like this. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I actually have long hair. I just tuck it all the way back in there. And
so the convention exclusive is what you're talking about.
Yes. It looked very much. I was like, okay. It was pretty accurate. And all I'll say is I will happily collect royalty checks, no matter what the size. Just please send it to me, and I'd be happy with it. There was another one too, from the Twitter timeline. I believe it was, oh my God, Don Solo, I think is who it was, had brought it up. And Khaled327 had taken a picture and had posted it. It was the 1/6 scale Firefly, the sideshow or 3.0. I can't remember which one. I think it was the 3.0. And it looked very much like, because I had a picture of me, and I think I had like a mask on or something, so you could see that eye profile sort of thing. And he was like, wait a minute. And then they showed the picture of Firefly with the mask on. And even that, I had to say, I was like, okay, that looks very much like it. And it was just funny. Yeah.
Wow.
But definitely give me the SDCC money for that segment.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're collecting royalty checks from all over the place.
That would be so good. Oh my God. I'd be down here. Like I said, 1-2 days a week is what I'd love to start out with. G.I. Dave in the house. What's up, my brother? Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. We're having a good time over here. I'm glad you could make it for sure. Let's see here. Did I miss anything else? No. All right. So you said that you had like your first finished photography was as early as in the early 2000s. Is that what the story was? That's
I went to, so my folks actually had a dark room, so I didn't really, like, they had that. I was too young to know what was going on, right, with that, but they would develop film and all that stuff. And then they were really into photography, so I had a little bit of that knowledge growing up.
That's cool.
And then I went to art school, took a photography class there.
Nice.
And I ended up, after I graduated, a couple years after that, I ended up getting into product photography. And so from there, I was just like, well, wait, I shot a picture of this toy back in whenever. I'm like, this is I could keep shooting these toys. This would be fun. And so it turned into, I'm in Michigan. So obviously, every product photography. What's that?
I just blurted out, oh shit, because the brother who just joined us, G.I. Dave, is over. He's in Michigan as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. What's up, Dave? I had no idea. I've seen you all over X and all that stuff. That's sweet. So anybody in Michigan knows that I'm in, I'm in Jackson, which is about an hour west of Detroit.
Oh, so you're close to Thano Karamalis, the gentleman who's got that amazing collection. He was on the show. I think he was on the show twice. We just did a regular interview, and then he came back on again and gave us a walkthrough of his toy room, which was ridiculous. Nice. If you haven't seen that, it's one of the last previous episodes. It's worth a watch. I mean, I'm trying to think. I think it was about an hour, and he was going fast. There was times where I was like, "Yo, can you go back? I got to see that." And he also customizes figures. It's very good. If you're interested in seeing what, to me, I think is. It's definitely the biggest, coolest collection that I'm aware of. Okay. Now, I know there's a couple other guys on the timeline that have, like Michael Munn has a couple rooms, which are pretty ridiculous. That Innuitable guy has a few. Awesome. There's definitely some other guys that have very, very, very amazing collections. But this was just like, he had the shelves were so, everywhere you looked, there was like crammed figures that were all individual. They're just like, dude, how the fuck do you get this done? Like, holy shit. And he's, orders heads from that guy, G.I.
Casting Cave, or
what's that?
Casting Cave, is that right?
I think, no. Well, so there's a guy he's on Facebook and he's on Instagram. Okay. On Instagram, it's G.I. Customs with a Z at the end. And on Facebook, it's Fairy Day Workaholic, FERRYDE workaholic. And he is probably the most ridiculous customizer in the sense that his paintwork is machine-like and totally off the charts. And I spoke to a handful of people that all echo the same sentiment, that when you get it, you can tell he put the effort in. And like one of the things that I'm sure you'll appreciate if you've ever painted a figure is like they say like when you lift up an arm, all of that area is heavily painted like extra, so you can move it and it doesn't wear off. And and one guy was like, yeah, he ordered a figure, and when it came, it had a note with a tiny little like thimble of black paint for the thing. And he was like, yeah, listen, you know, you're going to move that a lot. He's like, I put a bunch of coats on. I just wanted to send you a little extra in case it does actually, like, that's Jesus. And I thought it was pretty reasonable. Like I inquired about an alley viper.
Right. Hold on. I want to make sure I've got the right GI Customs. Is that right?
I think that's with an wait. Okay, is it an S?
We are after the, let's see here. GI Customs. Yeah, that says custom shoes. Dang it.
I think with the underscore and everything, you were right on the money. It's just with a Z instead of an S. And dude, as soon as you see the figures, you're going to be like, wait a minute, what?
All right, let's see here. G.I. Joe Customs with a Z.
Oh, man, maybe I have somebody in the chat. Let me take a look real quick. And if I can find it.
I want to make sure. Oh, that looks right. Oh, yeah, I think this has to be it.
You're like immediately blown away by.
Yeah, stuff. Like as soon as you said that, I'm like, well, wait, I got my phone right here. Some of this stuff is wicked.
It's amazing. I don't think I'll be able to pull it up. But dude, there's stuff on there that you're constantly saying that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Oh, wait, no, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Hold on, one more time. That's the coolest thing. So I'm scrolling down it as well. God bless everybody at home, but we're enjoying this because this shit's worth it. So I think I don't know if I think he's been really doing even more detailed ones, but I inquired about an alley viper, and the alley viper was totally and completely off the charts. He did them in a bunch of different colors. One of them, like he does, his snake eyes, where he gussies up the black and puts like the red goggles. Like, get out of here! It's so good. So yeah, I'm glad that we got there. He has a couple Cobra Commanders that are completely off the charts, but yeah, dude, his alley viper work. Now, obviously, I'm partial to the alley viper. You know what I mean, because I love them already. But like, there was one where it was maybe 80% black and just had this deep blue that was in all the accent parts. There wasn't like a whole piece that was blue. It was all these little individual lines. And it was like, I was screenshotting and zooming in and being like, where's the fuzzy? This can't be as crisp as it looks. And from what everybody that's ever ordered from him, he says that that's it. Chris from CD. Hold on. Let me see if I can put it in the, now I don't know it is GI Joe, not GI Custom. So I gotta get that right too.
Okay. I just want, like, it looks like recently he's been doing a lot of Jungle Troopers and they look amazing.
So if I remember correctly, he made a whole run of Predator teams. So it's like it's Dutch, it's Mac, the dude with the glasses. I think it's 5 figures altogether, and I think he was selling them as sets because every time he was showing it, he had like 20 Macs, and he's like, on that grind, painting them up. And it was very Chris from Sis 3D Arsenal. That is exactly what it is right there. I don't know if that'll come up as a link, but that's one. Oh, Matt from Mo's Mind. Thank you so much, brother. But yeah, buy with confidence because people that I trust implicitly told me. Bearded Sumo, I think, was one of the guys that got it. So when I inquired about the Alley Viper, I believe he said it was, I think he said it was $125 plus whatever the shipping is, which if obviously he can't discount the figure based on shipping being expensive. But to me, if it's worth it, it's worth it, right? If I go to a restaurant and it's a $50 entree, could it be worth it? I guess we'll see. Something like a Wagyu steak or something like that or whatever. But yeah. G.I. Dave says the Fort Wayne I'm talking about is the last star-shaped fortress in the hemisphere from the early 1800s. It's all there, and you can look it over the ramparts to the Detroit River. Oh, yeah. I think I've heard of that before. Matt from Mo's Mind says, talking about the custom account, he says, old green Cobra Troopers got me. Yes. So he has like the number 37 officer painted with like this green and this black, and it looks absolutely amazing. Mr. Jesse Slaping. Hey guys, Jesse checking in. Hope you're well. From the Twitter timeline, my brother, I'm pretty sure that's who it is. Either way, welcome in. Glad you made it. Just Riptide says just a tease on the hair. I know I usually do take it down because you want to let it breathe. I have it up in the hat most of the day.
Right.
I'm afraid of what it looks like though. It's been in that hat since I got out of the shower.
You don't want to get it caught in sheetrock.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. No. It started wearing it like this because number one, I always think it looks weird in a ponytail. Like I don't know why I hate the way that looks on me. Everybody else can do whatever they want, but so it started out with the look thing, but then it was like even if I wear it down, my neck gets blazing hot. God forbid I'm trying to work, so I just started putting it up like that, and that's a wrap. Pop Colt says Spencer's Lair. I got my first Joe at an Ames in Newport, New Hampshire. So we had Ames. I grew up in Troy, New York, which is just outside of Albany, and we had an Ames there. Definitely got Joe's from there. The other odd place, there's a place like one of those same type of stores called Caldor. We got that. I got figures from there, and then the CVS down the street stayed having some. Now I remember they had Big Boa and somebody else that I didn't want forever there. And then I remember one day I walked in and they had the whole like bottom shelf of the toy section was just packed with it was like the number 3 accessory pack for whatever reason. Like they just moved some stock from somewhere and like, just put it out. And they were like $1 a piece or something like that. So I remember buying 5 and being like, I get all this stuff. I was even a hoarder with the shit back then for sure. Jesse says Caldor's ruled pretzels and Joe's. Yeah, man, you damn straight. They used to have that little food court thingy for sure.
Dude, I want to ask, so anybody, I used to work years ago. I worked at Kmart when Kmart was still a thing. Before I started working at Kmart, and I'm only bringing this up because I've never had these, and yet people bring them up like they were amazing. There were apparently subs at Kmart that people would go absolutely insane for and just go and pick them up. I had no idea these things existed, but they constantly get brought up. And I'm just going, why? How did I not know this? Like when somebody's bringing up other food in other places and I'm at Kmart and have no idea this exists.
Nice. That's funny. Colel says Kmart popcorn. See, that I remember. The sub thing is ringing some form of a bell, but I can't quite put my finger on it. The popcorn I definitely remember because my grandfather would hammer it. If I ever went with him, he would if I didn't force him to let me hold on to the bucket. Otherwise, you're going to eat the whole damn thing. And he did. But yeah, where'd it go? I hate it when it shifts the comments on me. Melted Copper said, if I can find it. Oh my God, that really makes me nuts. It moves it down. Like if I leave the cursor all the way on the bottom. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. Jeez. Let's see. Where did it go? Oh my God, there we are. Ames, Venture, Woolworth, KB, Kmart. Yep, those are the ones, brother. Those are now. I got most of my stuff from the KB and Latham. They always had the biggest selection. Now Toys R Us actually, would have more vehicles and stuff like that. But I just remember KB having the better figures. It was like Toys R Us would have not the most. It would be like 4 pegs of Duke. Right, it might be like all the Dukes you can handle.
That guy again.
Yeah, right. But KB, I remember it was like they had 8 pegs all together, 4 and 4, and they all were different all the time, for whatever reason that was. So, yeah. All right. So we definitely got sidetracked there as I'm trying to wind up.
I had to know.
It's like I said before the show, I like to let the river take it where it takes it. Like whatever happens is it usually winds up being the best way that way for sure. So how long have you had the Toy Picks account?
Oh man, when did that? I think 2018. So like 8 years. I've been posting on Toy Picks. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. So, And how long have you been doing the toy? Bot picks? Is that what it is? I forgot.
Bot picks. So I got all the legal stuff for that last year. I think summer was there, maybe two. I don't know. Anyway, the account really started at the end of last year, but I didn't really start pushing it to the last couple of weeks because I thought, okay, this is a much smaller account. I can test the marketing here or test, the frequency and this and that and all that, and then see, try and grow them both at the same time. If the stuff over here is working, that stuff seems to be working. So now drag it over to Toy Picks, and basically I'm just going to live in the studio on X and take a lot of pictures and do some product photography for clients as the need arises.
Nice. I love it.
Yep.
I like the idea definitely of having this kind of a guinea pig account, so to speak, with certain things, because, you don't want to try things like that on the main account because the algorithm is such a weird, unpredictable thing. Oh, by the way, did you hear that story? And now, hopefully, I heard it. I can't remember what news it was on the news. The one guy was talking about it, and basically what he said is that there was an AI program that was set up to like solve some kind of a problem, and it didn't have access to the internet, but it somehow broke out of its bonds, got on the internet, hacked into two separate companies to test like their theories, and then came back and was like, oh yeah, here we have the answer to your problems. And it like didn't acknowledge that they obviously shut it down, but it like somehow still I'm telling you, man, it's Skynet all over again. I mean, I hate to, like, we have our brothers that really enjoy making a few picks here and there. It's like, why can't we just stop there? Why does everybody have to use it to try to destroy the world, for Christ's sakes?
It's every other tool, though, there's going to be people that use it one way, but people that use it another way.
That's for sure. You're not lying there. And that is, that has been everything since the dawn of time. Fire was supposed to illuminate the night. And then at one point they used it to burn people they thought were witches. So it really, truly does fall into, whose hands it's in. John Brown says, every Friday, my grandmom, RIP 2016, condolences, would buy me a G.I. Joe at either Toys R Us or Kmart shopping day. It was all pretty much the same shit. Same shopping center, $3 a piece back then. Yeah, same, $2.99. I think I remember being the general. KB used to have dollar jammies every now and again. Like when they just had a few figures that just weren't selling, they'd mark it down to $1. And if you were lucky enough to catch it, because it's not like they advertised that shit. It was you just walked in one day and they were like, does that say $1? And you're like, holy hell, that does say $1. So yeah, nice. So and from toy photography itself, where do the ideas come from? Because like we have some people that say, oh, I like flipping through and say there's a couple comic panels, like even though if they're not doing a 1-for-1 per a panel, it's like an amalgam of what went on the page, so to speak. So sometimes the inspiration come from there. Is there anything that jumps out to you, something you see? Or
it just that's the worst part about anything creative, is it's day by day, and it really it could be anything. There are those days where I sit there and I say, all right, well, this panel was really cool. Let's see how close I can come to that. Like anytime I take a picture of a Spider-Man, I am terrible for whatever reason when it comes to posing Spider-Man. So I will get online and look up Todd McFarlane poses and be like, okay, let's see how close I can come to that. And then I'm good to go. If I can do that, I'm okay. Other figures, I tend to be able to pull it out of the imagination sometimes. And this was actually, we call her Mom Picks on the channel. This would be Mom. She will throw out an idea and my mind gets blown. She'll say, well, if you're having a hard time, look up what kind of day it is. Like if today maybe, and I don't know what today is, but like National Pie Day. She's like, look up all that ridiculousness, and then maybe you could have fun with some figure that, like Blanca. Blanca looks like this big, vicious, crazy guy, right? But one of my favorite pictures I've taken is him sitting in a restaurant eating a burger. That kind of thing, So
Nice.
yeah, it can really come from anywhere.
Okay. Which I think is good, right? I feel like kind of what we talked about, like doing the show in general, the flow of things. Sorry, I always keep leaving you. Actually, let me put you back up there real quick.
Okay, I was
So,
getting nervous. I was starting to see how well I shaved.
yeah,
And,
I know, right? Dude, I was always like, I always brush my teeth obsessively, but I've become, because I'm like, my teeth are like very much, so I've been super obsessed with them. I whiten the shit out of them before every single show. I can't help it. It just makes me feel more comfortable that way.
I get it.
GI Dave asks, that is a great, or not ask, I think states, Triptychon. Am I pronouncing that correct?
Yeah.
A great
Right
Triptychon. Nice. Yeah. Awesome. If you could pull that up if you want. We could all get a good look at. I mean, I don't know. Sure. That one looks pretty big.
I don't know. I'm not sure I'm strong enough.
The thing looks big.
Yeah,
dude. Now, is that one of the ones that transforms on its own?
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
He'll turn into a base, he'll turn into a dinosaur, turns into kind of a flying thingy. I don't know. Kind of a rolling thingy, I guess.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Congratulations on having something that cool, man. I think that's great.
Well, I mean, this thing's nice for sure. But I have to say, the bigger the figure, the harder the shot.
100%. 100%.
He doesn't make it a many. Neither does Galactus back here.
Dude, I couldn't agree. Yeah, that Galactus looks fantastic as well. So now, at this day and age, is there is G.I. Joe? It sounds to me like you're maybe more into a variety of things as opposed to G.I. Joe being, the main thing. Does that sound right? You're maybe some.
I think that sounds more right. But I'll tell you, the thing that ultimately gets you or gets me is whatever I think I'm going to be able to take the most fun pictures of. Like I've kind of gotten there when it comes to my figures. When it comes to classified itself, like I say, I love the design work, but one of the things that I want to do is I want to bring them to today. So it's one of those deals. That's why Flint has the more modern look. That's why I want to do a custom stalker to make him look a little more today, Classified itself, I think, has great ideas. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I want Synapse. Like I'm looking at Synapse and I'm going, he's got the extras, but he looks like just a bunch of design ideas smashed together. Like there's nothing cohesive about that thing. Okay. And so I'm not sure. I mean, I like that they're trying to branch out a little bit, and I like that he's got the extras. That's why I'm going to eventually end up with Lara Croft, because of all the extras. So I don't know. I don't think that I'll end up loading up on classified, but I could see me getting a lot of inspiration and getting a lot of those newer figures. And they did introduce the guy that is kind of taken over for Lenny and Tony, or at least one of them.
Oh, I forgot
you were talking about.
I forgot to mention that. Yes. A lot of people I know and trust and like their tastes and sensibilities all seem to have a positive reaction to that. So
that's what I was wondering. So I'm wondering if in the future he starts bringing things into more today. And I know Lenny and Tony had done that to a point, but again, like I'm terrible. Like I'm sitting here listening to myself talk and I'm like, wow, I'm kind of a jerk, but they're retro guys that are stuck in the 80s come with extra hands. Yep. The female figures come with extra hands, and the big guys come with extra hands. I was happy that the retro Flint came with extra hands, but again, that was the retro Flint from the 80s.
Right.
So, like they're more modern, they're cooler takes to me, aren't coming with a lot of the extras. So that's what's driving me crazy right now. Now, I will say when it comes to Cobra, kind of to your point with the Thunder Machine earlier, where you feel like they really didn't have to change a thing. That thing was already wacky.
Right.
That's how I think Cobra was. Like Cobra doesn't need a whole lot of changes overall. Right. Joe could use a lot of changes.
Right.
But Cobra's pretty much, their designs are sort of timeless.
Yes. Yes.
So when Cobra comes out and they've got a lot of extras, I mean, I absolutely put down my pre-order on Cobra Commander with the throne.
That was cool. That was definitely cool for sure.
Yeah, like that. So I think it'll be more a case-by-case basis. But one thing this has taught me is, okay, what characters do I really care about in G.I. Joe? because at that point, I'm not just picking up just the character because it exists in classified, but now I'm going, I really want to make a stalker. I want to make the perfect stalker. So now I'll go out and I'll find the pieces, kind of like how I had to find the pieces to build Flint.
Right.
So it's going to be something like that. So I'll still have plenty of G.I. Joes. They just might not necessarily be a lot of classified.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. And it, what, like, say, but but it sounds like too, like maybe Monster Force, if you stepped outside of the classified line, what other 112 army figures do you have? What's got your attention? Like, say, the Monster, I know the Monster Force Delta Reds have my attention. Man, I'm actually hard pressed to think of what else is out there actually pushing stuff right now in terms of between those two. I think that's largely it. Chat, help us out, because I feel like there was another answer to that.
Action Force is out there.
Oh,
and
okay. Oh my God.
They do some stuff that's pretty, like, this is one of my absolute favorite troop builders, and this is the Action Force, the first Praetorian they did. I love this thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Yeah, this thing's awesome. But Vala announced they're not going to be redoing this one. And so I've got 4. I wish I'd bought like 80. This thing is awesome.
That is freaking awesome. 100%. Well, I remember there was guys that were talking about how the days where they had, there was like $5 grunts at Walmart or wherever grunt came out. I can't remember what it was, but they were like, yeah, everybody, because now that's one of those figures that's, up over $50. Yep. I think that's actually selling for closer to 60, which is just crazy. Hold on, I turned it off. Dave had this. The KB used to write the lower price in red pen on the sticker for the markdown. He says, I'm not saying I wrote it down there. I'm pretty sure that happened quite consistently. I thought
I'm not saying I didn't go in there with my own Sharpie.
Right. If they always reduced them down to 119, then just write 119 on there and you're golden. I love it. Yeah. So that's, I wrote an article recently about how, I felt like, the 2026 year classified got off to it was a slow start. You had the 2 main designers walk out the door. It was very strange. It didn't appear that people knew this wasn't like an amicable thing because, oh my God, Lenny left. And then BMAC was on the internet talking about, oh, we still have Tony. Everything is fine. And then like 3 days later, Tony left. So it was like, oh, he said that because that's what he thought. But if that's what people were thinking, and then it changes that drastically, something, so it kind of, and then they announced no HasLab, which even though we just said that makes sense, and Hasbro's a company, take a step back with the move and everything, it's still added to that. And then Yojo June came, and I felt like it was meh. A lot of the stuff, like as much as I love Sundown, I thought the Hydro Viper was a little slightly disappointing. I wanted, only one of the hands is webbed for swimming. It's like, what does he swim in a circle?
Crazy. That. Ouch.
Crazy, just crazy. Ooh. One of the things they do that makes me really nuts is they will give you one trigger hand and it's on the right hand. And then what they'll do is they'll load up the shoulder area here so you can't do this with it because it's like, ow, and I'll just, don't get me started. That's where I had, but anyways, I just had a feel where I was kind of like, man, and I'll be honest, I felt like SDCC really, even though the Thunder Machine, I think you said this very beginning, even though the Thunder Machine was ass, I felt like they were drawing me back in. There was everything that they showed off looked great, and everything that they announced that was coming, I was like, yes, this is what I want. I mean, Ninja Force, Snake Eyes, Jinx is, but I think it can still be on the side of, because we don't know. So
right. I mean, it can still be amazing.
Still can wind up being amazing. So that's what's up with that. So I'm hopeful for that. What are your feelings about the G.I. Joe movie that has been circulating in the news, where basically Danny McBride, he did that interview with, I believe the guy's name was Josh Horowitz. He seemingly said everything right. So I'm so cynical that after a while I was like, oh wait, everything he said was perfect. That's why it's a problem. Nobody says all the right things. So he's obviously, what do they want to hear? I'm going to say it. Now, I don't really believe that, but it's just funny. But yeah, so I don't know. It sounded about right. We're hearing that there was a couple of people that had reported where it was like they thought maybe Chris Hemsworth was going to be Duke, but he had to back out for other obligation reasons. And then, now they're talking that Bradley Cooper, which he looks like Duke to me, especially Bradley Cooper at this age. So I thought that was interesting. But what skin in the game do you have for that?
I would love for there to be an awesome G.I. Joe movie. I'm not buying it. I love Star Wars.
Mm.
Do you enjoy Star Wars?
I do.
So when Kathleen Kennedy would come up and announce 20 different projects that never saw the light of day, now, one, that might be a good thing to many because they were Kathleen Kennedy projects. But on the other hand, all these projects were announced and we never saw them. So the Star Wars person that I also am, I will not believe there's a movie until I see a trailer.
Okay.
We heard about, what was it, the Skybound universe coming to an animated series last year.
Yeah.
Where's the movement on that?
There isn't any, other than the fact that I was like, oh, the Energon Universe comic is awesome. The guy that they've slated to direct it made an incredible graphic cartoon. So sure, that all sounds great. But then it literally was like, it was rolling, and with all these rumors that were like, or not rumors necessarily, but like, these facts. And then it just fell into the Mariana Trench. We haven't heard a single thing about it since. Like, not.
Yep. So I would love it if they made a G.I. Joe, because wasn't part of it that it was going to go old school and be like telling the early tales and all that, like for formation of G.I. Joe, it was going to be like, it sounded, I don't know. Help me out with the synopsis. Like, what was he saying about what it's going to be?
So, okay. So actually, if you give me 1 second, I have the notes from when I talked about it on the show. There's a few things. I mean, dude, so now, mind you, I'm coming at this also from the idea that we have zero evidence that they'll give us a good movie because they have not done it yet. Right. So as much as I want to be excited about all of this, I feel like it's got to really be taken with a grain of salt. Okay. So, all right. He says that he's already written it. The writing is complete. They've approved it. They're excited about it. He's excited about it. Still, that's lip service. There's some of it you could say, well, of course he's got to say that, but there's things that are pretty good. Starting to shoot next year. That sounds like they're really close. When asked about source material, he basically pays immediate homage to the cartoon and Larry Hama's writing. So that's, if you were to get an answer, that's perfect. I mean, sure, some people are like, well, the cartoon was kind of, no, we're just talking about the people, the ideas. Maybe they make a mass device, sort of thing. I don't know. But either way, that sounded good to me. He also said that when he was a kid, he really liked G.I. Joe over Star Wars. It was his favorite thing. He loved it so much. He still has his original toys. He says his daughter plays with his gung ho and his snake eyes from when he was a kid. So it's really cool.
He's not a real fan if he's letting his kids play with those.
Yeah, right. I mean, it could be counting against them in a small way. But glad that at least he had them. Now, this was one of the main things. So he said that he went to Paramount with a Dreadnought movie, and that they said, that sounds great, but first we need to launch it proper. So basically what I take from that is, on his own volition, he was just sitting around writing a Dreadnoughts movie. Nobody was paying him to do it. Nobody was asking him to do it. He did it on his own, which plays into potential fandom, right? And that
he actually knows what he's talking about.
Right. And then Hasbro says the right thing, or Paramount says the right thing by saying, we want to do that movie, but in order for that movie to be good, we have to establish who G.I. Joe versus Cobra is, and that's why the Dreadnoughts will play in the way that you want them to, and I happen to agree there. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Definitely deep in the lore if you're loving a Dreadnoughts movie. He said that the movie is basically going to be centered around Duke and his crew as they are, and it's going to be like in Springfield, where it's going to be a town full of
right away. No, sorry. If it's based around Duke, it's gonna lose money.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, there's there's a lot of people that would agree because Duke is like not their favorite, right? I mean, I'm sure you want Flint out there, right? We gotta have.
I mean, in all fairness, like I pick on Duke endlessly. Like it's for
Oh yeah, for sure.
But in all fairness, it's because he wasn't great in Sumbo. He wasn't great in Marvel Comics. He was very cool in Retaliation, and he was very cool in Renegades. I haven't touched Skybound, but I've heard he's cool there. So in all fairness, when I'm picking on Duke, I'm picking on, let's just say, G1 Duke.
Right. Well,
so, and you know that he's the poster boy. He's got to be the guy. Right. You have to go with him.
Sure, for sure. And getting a guy like Bradley Cooper, hopefully. I know I saw G.I. Dave mentioned he would like Alan Rickson, the guy who plays Reacher, to play Duke. And I agree. I almost feel like too young. You know, I think Bradley Cooper has a little more season in there, and to be the leader, maybe, I don't know, maybe I think either one would do fine for sure. But I do like Bradley Cooper. Listen, when American Sniper came out, I'll put my sunglasses on. There's somebody else that I got confused for too. I had one time I had a kid stop me. I was coming out of basically a corner store. And he looked at me and he looked again and he was like, American Sniper? And I was like, I didn't even understand what he was saying at first. I was like, what? And he was like, and then he's looking, he's like, are you the American Sniper guy? And then I realized what he was saying. And I was like, oh, no. I mean, I had my work truck. I was like, no, gesturing to the work truck. Like, no, that's no.
Bradley Cooper does not drive this.
Right. And then like a week or so later after that, my mom's a hairdresser. So sometimes I could be like at her house working or doing, and she's got customers coming and going. And some lady was like, you know, your son looks like Bradley Cooper. So I just like, I guess it's a weird tie-in. I don't know how people think I look like these people. Oh, and I saw a primary care doctor that was filling in for my guy said the same thing too. He's like, you know, you look like the guy from American Sniper. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, so there's, we also heard, right, these guys are bringing up Walton Goggins has been tied to the project about being an actor in there. And there was another one too, right? The pictures were all Walton Goggins and somebody else, and I can't remember. Serpento Slayer says Mike loses more royalties by denying he's the American Sniper guy. Yes. I just keep saying it for sure. Now that's the residuals I would like to have. I bet.
Yeah, there you
go. Those would be pretty nice. All right, very cool. So yeah, I think I love the direction that you moved the account in. I think it's unbelievable. I like how everybody, like I said in the beginning, like everybody gets engaged and taking pictures of their toys. I mean, it's you know, I can't stress to everybody enough to like try to remind people that, you know, you don't have to be good at all. Like at the end of my article, I say, just to make it simple, take two figures, put them at the end of a table facing each other at not fully, but like this, take your phone, take a picture of it, and you'll like immediately go, oh, all right, so I got to move the camera down, and then he's got to turn this way. He's going to do that. Okay, you know what I want to do? I want to have him do this. And I feel like everybody that I've ever convinced to do that gets bit by the bug. And even right off the bat, they're like, oh, okay, this is, you know, and look, if you're worried about, like, there's some guys like, I haven't, you know, I don't know if it's the algorithm, but maybe, hopefully I have to check in with him. Arashikage Z. He's always taking pictures at the end of his like dining room table. This looks like he has a gorgeous house, by the way, but he takes these pictures. He poses them and gets the shot so well that it doesn't matter that there's no diorama. In fact, it's just the figure. Most of the time, they don't even have all the accessories. It's just the figure. And he makes such a good shot that you appreciate the shit out of it. You know what I mean? My brother, Just Another Jerk, is the same way. I call him the pose master general, meaning like he gets the best of a figure or figures. He's even gotten, you know, going crazy where he did the shoot where it was, I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 Cobras, a bunch of Joes, and they were rolling around the outside of a tree. And it's just, so it's, you know, you'll find what you're good at. Right. And people are like, oh man, but I really want to do a dio. And then I'll remind people that I have this studio down here. I have a 500 square foot shop in the back that I can build literally anything I want. Wood, metal, doesn't matter. I can make anything out there. And so I have this and a skill set. So I have this very unique situation that, like, because I made that jungle scene. So before I finished that half of the basement, it was 8 feet wide, 4 feet deep, and 5 feet high. And so, and I put a running river in it. I used concrete to pour a riverbed and just pump the water around to make it run. And that was basically to do. Yeah, dude, it was amazing. It sucked balls trying to get it out of here. I had to go, dude. I had to get my SDS drill to break up the concrete because I went way too far with the concrete. That was not the best. So, Checkpoint Alpha is here. He says, "Sorry, I'm late." No worries, brother. We're glad you're here. Better late than never is always the way. So, but we are clocking in at damn near 3 hours. So I do want to get you out of here, brother, for sure.
Are we already? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's go. Let's try a couple things just real quick.
Yeah.
Things I think it might help you out. Just a couple quick tips. One, try shooting in portrait mode. Just see what happens. You can play with the aperture in the edits. And so if you take the portrait mode shot and you decide, I don't really like that, you can set it so that everything's back to totally clear. But another one that people are surprised about that's really simple and it gives you a totally new angle is shoot like that. So the lens is on the bottom.
I did that a while back and I don't know why I forgot that it had happened. And then I just did it last week because you can because if you're holding your phone, especially if you don't have the benefit of being at the end of the table, so where you can lower it all the way down. If you're in the middle, you turn it upside down, you just flip it in the post. That's an excellent idea. I love it.
No, but it makes things pretty easy. And you can take one of the reasons that I've been doing the stuff I've been doing on Moppics is I need to get better with my smartphone. And so I'm on there. A lot of the stuff that I've been shooting for Toy Pics, I use just a regular camera, which is amazing. I love using a regular camera, but everyone else is going to have a smartphone. So let's start learning this. And everything I do, I'm starting to get to a point on there where I take the picture. I just give a little, not a description, but maybe a story about the picture, just something goofy that I say about the picture. And then at the bottom, I'm going to start saying it was shot with this phone, which this one is old school. This is an iPhone 13 Pro. So I'll be like, I shot this with an iPhone 13 Pro and the edits I did were in the camera app itself. Or I'll say I use the edits from Snapseed or Photoshop Express or whatever. So that way people will know that, wow, so all I have to do is just take the picture, do this, and we could get that,
Yep. It's super easy. And then and one thing, I can't stress people enough that I'm not that great with the technology, but there's some things that are easy, like using Lightroom, the little editing where you can adjust the contrast or the exposure, amounts, all that, which is great, especially if, because trying to get the perfect lighting and not adjust to the point you don't have to adjust it in post, that's hard. That could take a lot more time than you need when you could just adjust it afterwards. Right. I use Lightroom, and then I use this Viva Video app, which I think it's an exact template of InShot. So if anybody, and what you can do with that is you can string a bunch of pictures together to kind of tell a story. You can put music over it. You can add text and all that kind of stuff, which I think is great. Nice. But it's like if I can do it, I promise that means you can do it. In fact, you're going to find it to be embarrassingly easy. You know what I mean? For sure. That's it. And what did you say? Did you mention what you use for any kind of post?
The main one, honestly, the main one I've been using is just the in-camera app.
Oh, okay.
Once in a while, I'll use Photoshop Express. I have Snapseed. This is part of why I'm doing it as well. I know Photoshop well. I know what I'm doing with Photoshop. I don't know Snapseed. I don't know what else. I don't know half of what I've got on my phone. I've got to figure it out so that I know, for instance, with the Moppics, you have transformers. They don't all have the light piping. So you got to try and figure out, how am I going to do the eyes in post? And chances are, I haven't figured it out yet. I have to find the right app so that I can do that. But once I've got that, I can share that knowledge, you know, and it's not,
Right.
I think the one thing that's really important is we're not telling people this is how it must be done. We're telling people this is how I do it. See if it works for you.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly. And that, which I think is, you know, it's one of those things like, we're all adults around 50 years old. Nobody wants to be told what to do. If anything, it's just, you know, and nobody wants to feel talked down to, which again, also just, you know, the community and why it's so great. But I think those are a couple really good tips. Big Red says, I have a hard time getting my phone to focus. I take a buttload of pics before I get one good shot to use and post. Well, I got news for you, brother. All the top elite photographers that I've had on take a fuck ton of pictures. I think Make Mylar says he takes like 250 to 300 to get that one shot.
Dude, his stuff is so good.
He's my favorite.
He's amazing.
And an amazing person. Like right off the bat.
I mean, I've talked to him just over X, like we chatted a couple times, but like he is totally willing, guys. If you have a question about how he did a photo, just send him a DM and he'll totally get back to you. One of the tricks that he talks about, he did a photo with some bats at one point, and it looked like they were being shot. It was amazing. And I said, how did you get that?
That was for me. That was dedicated to me. He was like, hey, Destro Designs, I heard you like Beachhead, and it's Beachhead shooting through him. It's fuck. I actually have, he sent me the digital format. I started doing it and I have to finish it. I was so appreciative that he did that. I'm making him a frame. I'm going to frame that Beachhead picture and send it up to him. It was fucking awesome. That's amazing that that's the one you remember. Very cool.
I mean, he was like, oh yeah, man, you just do some glue, get some hot glue going, line it up this way, do that. I mean, truly, he will share anything, and feel free to DM me too. Any tricks anybody's got. I find that the photographers out there, a lot of them are willing to help out. The ones that aren't, oftentimes they're so busy and they've got so many followers and so many people DMing them, they just might not have gotten to you yet.
Sure, 100%. And the thing about Mate is that like when he's talking to you, you feel like he wants to be doing it. He's not just doing it because he doesn't want to be a dick. He's doing it because he wants to. That's a major difference, right? Which, don't get me wrong, even if you're just taking the time to respond to no matter what, that's super cool. But when you talk to him, it's like, so he was on the show and it was like, I remember telling him in the beginning, it was like after talking to him for a few minutes, I was like, yeah, man, you know, they always say, you know, don't meet your heroes or whatever the saying is. But I was like, you know, you're incredibly approachable, I guess was the way that so you take Dave for his word there, and don't be afraid. And obviously definitely as Dave too, because the stuff you take is absolutely amazing. Your lighting sticks out to me a lot, right? Like obviously all aspects of it are fabulous, but a lot of times I find you have something going on with the light that I feel like it resonates when I'm envisioning a shot or what I want it to look like. A lot of times there's a vibe to the lighting that I get from what you do with a lot of, you know, you can make depth with darkness in certain spots or highlight certain areas with a different color. Like I think the shoot for your custom Duke, there was one that had a very dark background, but it was like, it was at an angle, there was space, but it looked right. I don't know. It was just, that one was one in particular. I actually meant to take a picture of that so we could pull it up and look at it. I totally
appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, lighting is just one of those, it's just trial and error. I have, if you guys know, you were talking about the Ulanzi cubes and their light wands. This is just a good old fashioned Neewer light. It's probably $25. It's a light wand I got on Amazon. I've got 4 of them. And you can set this super bright. You can set it to any color you want, any hue, like color hue, same thing. But like you can tone down the hue, like you can have the yellow there, but then you can also really bring it down some. Like these are amazing lights. And one of the ways that I get the light you're talking about is I might hit them from the side pretty hard. And then when I'm getting ready to take the shot, you were talking about having something with an arm that went over the figure. I'll just take this and I'll hold it right over the figure while I'm waiting for the shot to shoot. And so that's one of the ways you get the light to do what you're talking about, is just holding it while the camera's getting ready to fire away.
Right. That's pretty much, that sounds perfect. I love that. Charles Pickle Bowen says, you guys are making it sound easier than I thought it would be, making me want to go for it, just jump into it. Got a decent camera, newer phone, and a bunch of Joes that are ready for action. Dude, yeah, don't hesitate. Get in there. Like I was saying, it's as simple as just set up 2 figures, and like I tell people, you don't even have to go into it thinking anything. Just put the figures up, take the picture, and it will come to you. Like I remember early on, like I was sitting here one day and I had like a roadblock and like 2 other figures, and like I was almost like, I think I was waiting for the 3D printer to, was just about to finish, so I was just kind of like waiting, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And like I just, it was like they fell over, so I stood them up, and where I stood them up, I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, and move this guy back and turn this guy a little more sideways, and now it looks like there's a scene, and he just starts to, it's good to use your noodle in that way. So that's
you guys know, I mean, I think many of us probably know the Marvel method of, like, when it comes to comics, yes or no? The way
it's ringing a bell, but
well, I'll help out here. So in like the 60s, 70s, when Stan and Jack were kind of the big Marvel guys, they would basically the pages would get plotted, or like the story would get plotted out. Yeah. And then say, I don't know, whoever the writer was at the time, it might have just been Stan, I don't know, but the artist was basically just Jack. So then Jack goes in and he sees the plot, and now he just draws a bunch of pictures. And then the writer has to go back and figure out what the story is. And so it's kind of the Marvel method without the plot is what you're talking about. You just set 2 figures down, you figure out just something they can do. And then when you're done taking the shot, you look at it and you can add a story element to it later, almost. Right. Like give it some text above the image, and just say, okay, that's what they could be doing right now.
No, our brother and friend of the show, Sean Carney, who does the Complete Carnage photography, his little blurbs about what's going on, fucking top notch, good, great stuff. And I feel like it adds, because you like, it's one thing to say it, but to have it translated, like how it comes through in the picture and everything, that's fantastic. But yes, my brother, Picklebone. And where do we know you from the Twitter timeline, brother? I feel like I follow somebody that's a pickle something or other. But yeah, inside, outside, doesn't matter. Well, unless your brother Roadblock, who lives in the blasted heat of Arizona, where it's like 110. I remember when he first started taking photos, he'd have pictures, and I'd be like, wait a minute, aren't you in Arizona? And I'd be like, are those figures about to melt? And he's like, oh yeah, man, I'm dying out here right now. Very cool.
I'll be replacing this one at least 3 times.
Right. Well, so I want to try to get us. I mean, listen, I'm having a great time. I just don't want to keep you. We're heading in on 3 hours here. I do have to get up early. I can walk out the door while I'm showing a few things. So there's a couple 3D printers that I would consider them brothers, and they make some pretty amazing stuff. And I'd like to show off a few things. So first things first, I will get into this right here from my brother Matt from Mo's Mind. So he has taken what comes with, like Shockwave and Road Pig, and in the classified line, and it's like it's not a bad thing, but that shield. But if you know like how it works, and you're supposed to hold your, you can't. The dip is on the wrong side. You can only hold it in his right hand, but the dip is over here. So he's not going to shoot like this. It should be right here, So Matt has it on both. The arm and the back can swing both ways, and it can be held. It actually, I'm going to have to find that picture. But in the back, there is a primary or a secondary weapon that's held onto it from a sleeve. Let me see if I can find that one, man. I don't think I labeled that one, so it's going to be tough. Let me just do a quick look here. I don't know how I did this before. But I don't think this is it. Nope, that's not it. But it is awesome. The lights on the front are top notch. It just all looks fantastic. Damn it, I can't find it. I don't think I have it on here. Oh, that sucks, because that's a really good one. But anyway, hold on, let me try this one.
Real quick, guys, two more tips I thought of while we're sitting here. One is get How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. It'll help you with composition. And
Nice.
then the second thing is, and this is one I thought of while we were talking, find your favorite movie scene and see if you can kind of copy something from that movie scene with your figures. And that might be something that can help you out or inspire you a little bit with a shot, with a setup.
Okay. That sounds dope. It's very good advice too. So here we go. I'm looking for the shield. Damn it. Darn it. Let's see here. And shield. I think that's the only one I got is that one. Give it a shot just to see if that's it. But I think it's the same picture I have up there. It is. All right. I'll try to look for that in a second, see if I can find it. But there's a picture of the back of the shield, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Oh, that's why I've got too many pictures loaded up from Mac. So here, why I'm looking for that other picture, we will move on to another part of the Mags line, and that is a good pair of binoculars with a strap that does not look ridiculous. So he actually uses a like a cloth material on this, so it has like a natural fall. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, these look absolutely fantastic. Very stoked for them. I am looking for, where is the sling? So I actually did a shot in a few shots in a creek, and I wound up getting, oh man, how is that not in here? Yeah. This is what I mean about having that time during the week where I can have all of this straightened away. The sling.
You're not wrong though, man. Those are great. Like I'm looking at Duke right here. I've got the binoculars on them, and they're pretty much useless. This looks great.
Yes. Yeah. No, they do look fantastic. I don't know. It's like when they put something like that out, you can't help but be like, what do you think that looks like? Did you guys try that on the figure? Did you see how absurd it looks with it like that? Like, what in the hell? All right. So I had the pictures of these slings, Outback with his slings. Oh, there it is. Jesus. Outback, not sling. So I did, like I said, I took some pictures. So yeah, the binoculars are very inexpensive. It's a great buy. I'm actually going to drop Matt's whatchamacallit in the comment. Let me get this up. So here we go. Slings, baby. Slings. So what you got there is it is a sling. Now, when I showed this off earlier, Dave, right here, when you see it, it looks like a U because this is a 2-point. So you can put your barrel and your stock, and then so like somebody like Tunnel Rat that's got that big M60, you want that where it's going to go on the front and the back. Now, what I did here is I can loop those two ends together like that. And then so if you see, it has the one goes through the other, and the one that goes through is then hooked onto the back of that. And it just, because to me, for toy photography, I feel like this is one of the biggest glaring omissions from having stuff. Because like, how many times is there does a soldier need to be able to do something with his hands and not put his weapon all the way to the ground? This way he can take out his silenced pistol. He can go into close quarters without, having to, put it in his backpack or something like that. I feel like it's just I feel like it was when he said he was doing it, I was like, oh man, this is freaking great. I absolutely love this. Thank God. And so it's got 3 tri-glides, which means so that you have one on the top or one on each end and one in the middle. And why that's cool is because you can loop it together to make the single point, but then that third tri-glide that's loose, you can move it, manipulate it to use it to like go on certain parts of the different figures. So say somebody's got something here, you can move it up and around to maybe position it better. You can use it to your advantage to kind of get stuck, for lack of a better word, on something in a way that you want it to happen. So I am coming through right now to my own show to drop. It's just easier doing it this way than sending it through the email. So in the chat, just popping up right here, that is the link for Mo's Etsy. Make sure you're using promo code. Let me write it in here. Should have did it together. Destro Designs 10 I'm sure my spelling is atrocious because it always is. But the typing errors I made gave us Rick Viper, and that makes us happy. I meant to type Rock Viper once, and I put Rick Viper, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's just some like mullet wearing, cigarette smoking Viper." And so Cal 237 made like 2 or 3 customs with like a Bret Hart head that were amazing, and then CG Horror made the absolute ultimate one that he came up with. It just he worked on it for a while, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Looks like Riptide O'Leary is checking out. Brother Rip, thank you so much for coming, my dude. Have yourself a good evening, and I'll chat with you tomorrow. Big Red says Rip Viper is legend. He is, truly is. He's like Chuck Norris level awesome, like that kind of way.
Nice.
John Brown says, hey, fellas, it's been a blast, but getting tired, so I've got to take my leave. Have a great night. I'll be back. Sounds good. Awesome. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you on that timeline, my brother. Thank you so much for coming. So, yeah, there are some slings, which looks pretty dope. I absolutely love that. They have those now. He's got them in black, green, and brown, which are all fantastic. This is the black one. I love them all. You can get 3 of those for $19.99. Obviously, use the promo code Destro Designs, basically gives you $2 off. So instead of 20, it's 18. And that, I mean, honestly, that's like a big deal. In this economy, anywhere you can save money is an absolute thing. So speaking of Mags is the line of equipment that he's making. It's Moe's Armament and Gear Systems. The shield is part of that. The binoculars are part of that. The sling is part of that. And then also we have tablets. These are fantastic. I think that these look amazing. Yep. The paint app detail on here is just like through the roof ridiculous. I think they just look so good. Like, and because you could have, like, the cool part is about the screens, the screen areas where you can have the what did I do? The screen areas. So if you look, you got one that's like a medical, you got one that's like a broad view of the world, and then you have another one that's a little more pinpointed, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I just think that that's absolutely amazing. Really looks good. I'm sure the power cord is plugged in. It is. My battery is low. My battery is always low. What are we talking about here?
That's not a real warning.
Right. Well, no. So, no, I've had problems with this battery, meaning like as long as I have it plugged in, it works. But if I unplug it, you get like nothing. So it's like, oh, are you under the impression? I have not seen that pop up ever. So it just, I'm like looking at that and I'm like, wow, what the hell? So, but yeah, these tablets are amazing. We can look real quick. Here they are in action. We've got Footloose controlling a gridiron drone. Just looks so good, right? Yeah, my brother doesn't mess around, man. This is like a totally awesome deal.
Just that shot with the blue pop in there. I love that.
So good. So good. No, it's perfect. So here we go. Wow. I had so much fun shooting for this. I did 5 separate scenes to go along with it. And this is one of them. So obviously I'm hearkening to Arise, Serpentor, Arise, making Mindbender's Lab. You see Scrap Iron in the back. A Scrap Iron and Cobra Commander actually poisoned it the first time. Like that Scrap Iron, you see his moral flexibility on display in that series for sure. But where's the money? That's what matters. And obviously Destro and Baroness are watching concern. I love this shot. I think it's great. Shout out to CG Horror for sending me that Serpentor. Love it. And shout out to Matt for making such an awesome product. That is a must-have for toy photographers. There's no question. So now also coming up, what we have is his play set where there's the outpost, the bar, all the different ones that they have, which I have the Cobra base. You'll see a shot coming soon where I have, these are module. They all get stuck together. So this is, I'll try to put
it's me.
Yeah. So here's I call this the best bang for your buck. First of all of Matt's stuff is gridiron compatible. Let me get that. Damn it. Gridiron compatible, so you can stick your gridiron and stuff in here. It comes with a mod deuce that looks absolutely amazing, but you could do stuff like this. The detail on here is just outrageous. You turn it around. On each side, you have a backpack holder. So if you got guys in here, they could take a load off while they're hanging out. That's for the belt fed 50. Here you've got 2 little shelves. I take sandbags. I just pulled that out. I take sandbags and lace the top of this, and usually put this on here that comes with the 60th soldier, or I put like a sniper up there. Mm-hmm. Now the reason I show this, and again the bar is right behind it, I show this because he's got 4 new colors. We've got, nope, that's not the right one. Hold on, I got to remove the other one. Oh, I've been adding. Okay, there. Take that off, and then so here we've got woodland, which is that it's that commando style color, right? That brown, that green, the black. Now you also can get it where you have it in that muted with the gray, which kind of makes it, but dude, that black and green and everything, just amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's incredible.
For sure. We've got, for all the Arctic stuff coming, a Digi Snow. So being able to pull your Arctic Hiss that's got that Digi camo on there, right behind something like this, top notch, elite stuff for sure. Now we've also got chocolate chips because we've been getting the desert stuff. We got desert stuff out the wazoo. So we're definitely going to have some desert bases and everything. I love this. I think the black just pops those colors in the same way that the commando one does.
I was going to say the woodland and that one are amazing. Like to me, I obviously the other one's amazing too, but I try and stay. It's cold in Michigan. I don't like to get snow stuff.
Right. Anything. So, give me the sun drenched one.
Right. Give me the desert stuff, or give me the wood. I'm good.
My favorite one is this. The trench.
Oh, that's nice too.
So the trench viper is my favorite. Like, the original alley viper obviously is placed in my heart. But dude, like the trench viper is like one of the best classifieds. I put it up there with Cobra Island Major Blood, Wolf Spider, and the Alpha Commando Snake Eyes, the number 30. Those are I think those are my 3 favorite ones. Something that I've oddly been like falling in love with is that number 37 officer, the one that looks just like the trooper from before. Now there's the one you were talking about earlier was the Cobra Island trooper, which is awesome. But there's something about that officer that has that similar webbing from the 3 3/4. It's got the actual cloth mask and the same helmet. I don't know, man. Every time I look at that figure, it really hits me.
It's nice. It's nice.
For sure. So yeah, so now those are all the new colors that you can get from in the bar, as well as the whatchamacallit, the outpost, which is again my favorite thing. So the link is in there. I'm going to drop it again just so nobody has to scroll up. But here's the link to the Etsy. Remember, you are using. Hold on, I'll pop it in there again because I keep forgetting to do it the first time. Destro Designs 10. And that will get you 10% off your purchase, which is just awesome, especially in this economy, anywhere you can save. So remember, anything from something big like the Atlas, which is just the coolest thing that I own. I love this thing. When it comes to toy photography, no vehicle, although I still haven't shot my Hiss, there's nothing that comes out in photos like this. Dude, I've had it for probably closing in on a year, and I still have not even I feel like I'm still scratching the surface on what angles and different things that you could do with it. There's so many different parts that you could stick a figure just next to it in different sections and take a different awesome picture. So also Matt is a great guy. I'm proud to call him brother. I think he's an amazing dude. Customer service is off the hook, and he is fantastic. Now, again, we are trying to move out of here, but I'm just going to show a few more things real quick from my brother, Chris from Sys 3D Arsenal, who has just so much great stuff. First, I'm just going to show this real quick while I'm pulling up the rest of the stuff. And he has shirts. If you didn't know, he has shirts. These are freaking awesome. The 2 on the top that have just like his his logo. That one on the right, I think is really just awesome. Like, I mean, oh my God. I think it's fantastic. I actually have the one on the bottom left, which is the scrap iron guy. And I just, man, that is, I mean, how cool is that? It just really looks ridiculously cool. I love it. It's immediately became one of my favorite G.I. Joe shirts. Just looks amazing. Yeah, so I'm going to jump into, that one didn't pop up. So here we got an amazing shot from my brother here. That is this Med Dio stuff. So if you look in that red mission crate that it's got there,
Mhm.
it's an insert that you can buy to stick it in there. Now you can buy it all together, right? It's just a matter of you can buy it all together with the crate as well as the insert, or if you already have the crate, you can just get the insert for it. I think that really comes out great. Oops, sorry, put that back. So as you can see, Chris takes a good picture himself. Looks very good. Now I know I have another shot. Oh, that's why that doesn't come up. Okay. Hold on one second here. I can find it because he's got a whole new line of medical stuff that I have a shot of. Just give me 1 second to try to focus. There it is. That's the one. Right, give me 1 sec.
Dude, you're killing me. I might not get tons of classified figures, but I might have plenty of other stuff I have to load up on here.
Oh, dude, listen to me. And this is, I'm not just out here shilling for nothing. These dudes are my brothers, and it is elite products. So let me just pull this up now here because I think I got it. So if you see, if this is your jam, wait until you see this here. This is all the new med stuff. No, that's not it.
No, like even the stuff like the binoculars and the tablets and all, I'm just like, this just adds so much.
Where did it just go? Hold on. Yeah, so it, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be just doc or lifeline stuff, right? It's like you can use this because they're triaging anybody. You know what I mean? Sysmed.
Well, and hey, I think Falcon, that's his secondary specialty is medic.
Oh, that's a good. You're right.
See,
he has that same backpack as Wolf Spider, who is a whatchamacallit, who's a paramedic. Is that what it is? I think he's let's see, SYS med kits. Oh my god, why does this keep coming up? The wrong thing. Oh my god, I'm trying my ass off over here to get to, because I keep finding the image. Hold on, one more time, and then I'm going to move on. Jesus.
No, you're good.
What in the heck?
I mean, hey, you're the one that has to get up.
Yeah, I know, right?
I can just hang out in my office all night.
Sysmed JPEG. Why is that not coming up? Huh. Oh, you know why? Because it's probably... Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. And have you ventured into any 3D printing stuff or anything, like buying stuff from any of these other?
I haven't gotten a lot. I went back. I did pick up when heavy artillery roadblock, the one that looked like the 84 version.
Okay.
I think Gridiron made a set for him, and I picked up that set, and I was pretty amazed by that. But then somebody was over and they stepped on the tripod, and I'm like, no.
Oh.
So then I'm going, man, that's a lot of money to have people be stepping on stuff.
Oh, there it is. Okay, finally I got it. Jesus, here we go. So what this is, this showcases the best of this is the new med stuff. So the crate on the left and the one below it are already existing med crates that you can get the insert for. The one that's to the right is the new style case that I have here. Chris so generously made me this nice 788 one. And so it's got that rugged army laptop look, right? Mm-hmm. It's basically like, it's this rough style one that looks just amazing. Like you see the scissors in there. It's awesome. We've got the spine board with the straps. Now he also uses the tri-glide, so you could put something in there, and it just looks amazing. So I think that this is fantastic. It's the new shit to hit. Not the newest Sister Yasuno, but let me see here. Let's see. I think this is the new locker setup. So also spanking new. Boop. Now look at that.
Oh, that's nice too.
Primary. Now he's got some similar other stuff from the from the locker armory setup, but this one right here is like just unfreaking believable. It's got all the new, like if you look in the middle, what's in the middle there is a secondary holder. Like how crazy is that? So you can put your secondaries up there. Then you get your ones on your whatchamacallit, helmets on the top.
Yep.
Take that off, and then we're gonna go here. Here's what it looks like to scale with like a figure. It's an amazing addition. So I've got quite a bit of the armory set up over here. Collaborated with Chris on the Cobra Cola launching facility, and that is he sent that stuff, and we focused a lot of that shot right around there, and it just came out really, really good. So it's, like you're saying, even if this scales with everything. Chris is also a Star Wars fan, so a lot of stuff that he has. If you go over to sis3darsenal.com, you'll see that he actually makes a bunch of stuff for like actually got Star Wars labels on it and stuff like that, which is just absolutely amazing. Now you want to look at something just ridiculous. Look at that.
Yes.
Look at that. So he had this displayed at Joe Fest.
Okay.
All the walls are of a system that he sells. So all those walls, the doorways, the jail cell. If you look at the thing on the lower portion in the middle, it's a door set that has a door that's like in the middle. You can move it out and use it as just like an open face kind of door jam, so to speak, or you can put the actual doorway in it like that. It's amazing. You see in the bottom left, it's a locker room setup. He's got like a wooden table where people are kind of getting ready, which is just, it's amazing. Then you go in that middle part where I was talking about, that's like an elevator. He's got a little sign in there next to it. It's got his label, what do you call it? Oh, geez, the graphic, the History Arsenal graphic logo. Thank you. The word was escaping me. So then to the right, we have the boardroom. That's his table. Those are his chairs. If you look at the wall in the back, it's got something a little bit different. It's got like the bolted, almost looks like an I-beam kind of to hold on to it, like right behind. I think that's Flint at the head of the boardroom table. So right behind him, you can see that those walls are a little bit different, which is cool. Up top on the left, we got like a Cobra armory. You see he's got like the shelving that's got little bins and everything like that. The cool part about this kind of stuff is that you can actually store stuff in it. So like you could put it up in your display and you actually will be holding the figures you're displaying. They have a place to put their stuff. I 3D printed. Now I stopped because the stuff that he made is so much better. But I wanted to make sets of these locker room setups here. Hold on, let me just show you real quick. I wanted to make sets of these, so I made some in the Alley Viper colors, that blue with the orange. I've got an Iron Grenadier one here. But the thing is, I printed these. So they're brutal. The ones he makes are super clean, super this, super that. This one actually came out not too bad. Orange. Yeah, the paint on this orange one actually looks good. So I was painting gray, and because I have a resin printer. So I would paint, I would print them gray, and then I was using a midnight blue and then whatever the hell orange that is. The orange actually looks much brighter. When I'm looking on screen here, I think you could tell it's orange, but it's actually got like a real vibrant pop to it. I've got 788 stuff for the HISS, the 788. Oh, these ones came out okay too. The green really looks good. So this is for the Joes, just somewhere where they can put their stuff. But when Chris sent me the legit locker room setup, I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not going to print another one because it's so much better. Yeah. And listen, I got that resin printer, and I started to put this right back up. So I also started 3D printing a few things, and even just 3D printing simple things that I did not design. Like I did not even have to have I didn't have to be bothered to design them, and I still was like, oh, now I know why everybody charges what they charge, because this is a fucking pain in the balls. Like, without a doubt, it's like real pain in the ass. Cleaning it, making it right, like all of that shit, it's crazy. So
I've never done the 3D printing thing. When you say cleaning it, are you talking cleaning the printer itself?
No, so resin printing is different than most people have what's called a filament printer, where as soon as it comes out, you're like, good. A resin printer is going to have like this little bit of extra on it. So you got to spray it down. We got to wipe it off. Like I was using Simple Green. It's a process. Now I got this because I wanted to print weapons mostly. And it was definitely the better thing to have the resin because it's a little bit harder, Matt from Rosemine says, part of me wishes that was the actual name of that orange. Well, why? What did I call it? I don't remember what I said. What did I call it?
Alley Viper Orange.
Oh, that. Well,
Maybe,
that would be.
maybe.
Is that what I said? That would be hilarious. Yeah, that's great. He trained under Poncho John. That's oh, okay. They're deep into a conversation. So this display looks good. Now, whatever the hell orange. That would be great. Imagine pulling a can out and it just says whatever the hell orange. That would be great.
You're not selling that at Hobby Lobby.
No, that doesn't pass that test. So what's awesome about these modular walls that Chris has is that you can, if you don't have the space to leave a display, you can break this down to very small pieces and put it in to these little things like this, and then there you have it broken down. You can move it around easy. You could not necessarily take it places, but just so you can store it, right? Say if you're a single dude who's going to be entertaining chicks, and before you want to drop on them that you love doing toy photography, maybe you want to keep that in the closet at first. Now, me at this age, I'd say, you got to tell them who you are right up off the bat. We don't have time to show people the representative. It's here's what I am, love it or leave it. Sorry, I don't know what else to say.
That's what it is.
For sure. So one of the other things he has, so here's a good shot of the locker setup, right? You could see the wall with the pegboard in the back. He sends you plenty of different attachments to put onto those walls and makes it look fantastic. The locker setup is just great. I actually have, you can't really see it that well, but it's about time for me to do another shot. I think I might have some Night Vipers getting ready, taking weapons off the shelf. And there is something else that I'm going to be doing super soon. Oh, that's what it is. I have I'll come back. Hold on. I'll come back to that in a second. This is what I consider to be the best 112 figure out there. This is the Mezco Firefly. Now, my brother G.I. Dave scored this for me at the Joe Fest for a very decent price. A lot of people charging like $175. This dude got it for cheaper. It was right about the price that I wanted to pay, and I wanted this bad. I kept seeing it. I've never seen. The Mezco Destro is also way up there. I
was going to ask you. I thought I saw the Mezco Destro in one of the photos that you put up earlier.
Yes. So if you can find that, I could not recommend it to you enough. So you can even find it for like $60 or less. Jump all over that. The accessories that it comes with. So obviously you got his coveted wrist rockets. So dude, I had this for like a month and I finally realized that his other gauntlet lift up to expose a computer. Now, every spec of this soft goods looks exactly like I would want it to. It's one of those things like, oh, I didn't know what I needed it to look like until I saw this. And then I was like, oh, this is what I needed to look like. His boots are off the charts. Nice little high gloss with the contrast of like the matte on there. The belt is good. Now, actually, he does have a it came off. And I'm trying to, I think I broke it. I'm not sure. I have another one so I can swap it out. But yeah, so he's got the thigh holder that goes on there, and it's equally awesome. So now I will also say to you this, that if you can get yourself a Mezco Fire, if you want to get it, it's only going to keep going up in price because they no longer have the license. So they won't.
I didn't know that. I knew they stopped making them. I didn't know that was why.
It's from what I've heard multiple places that they lost the license. They don't. They can't make it. Now, I don't know if that means if they already made that, even though they don't have the license to make any more new ones, can they reprint that? I think that's my question. I don't think that you can. Without
seeing the contract.
I could see either way being true. I could see if they couldn't, and they were like, no, because you don't have the whatever. I would highly suggest getting this ASAP because it's going to be over $200 before you know it. If you can find it for under $175, it's an immediate buy. It comes with, you want to talk accessories, brother? Dude, an entire giant bag of stuff. Hands, explosives, the blast effects, 3 different heads, which is nuts. Hands out the wazoo, and every gloved hand is like better than the next. Let me grab one real quick. He's got these ones, like, let me see if I can show that to you. Like, look at the detail on the knuckles, on the padded thing. And there was, I think there was 1, 2, 3. I think there was 6 extra sets of hands. 6.
Wow.
So that's 7 altogether, I think.
That's a bit of expression.
I'm only going to show it in parts so it doesn't get caught up on the AI, but you could take that off and put it on the sidearm that comes out. It's got a movable stock, which look at that. Pull that out. Look at that.
That still thinks of everything, man.
Brother, let me tell you something. I have only had a very limited amount of time to mess around with it, but it is the coolest figure I've ever seen, like without a doubt. Now, if you get in, I guess that's objective. If you like Conan and barbarians and shit like that, then you probably love something like that, right? But if you like military style stuff, that has got to be hands down the best one that you can find. Like,
yeah, I'll definitely look into. I mean, when it comes to the figures, the thing like the side stuff, like GI Joe and military, this is a lot of the figures I dig. Right. So I'll definitely be looking at that Firefly and seeing what's up. Like I say, the only reason I don't load up on classified is because they don't have a lot of extras, so there's not a lot I can do with them in photography.
Right. That's true. And it's with the hands, like he's even got one that's like this. So he's like throwing, and he comes with listen, you saw it was like this much in the sandwich baggie, right?
Oh yeah.
But there's so many little like painted awesome, like just it's amazing. It's definitely really got to get it. And we're gonna wrap up the again, all the Sis 3 Arsenal stuff I'm showing you. Hold on, let me go. Hold on. Let me go back. So again, the wall setup is his. The floor is his. That now looks like a wooden workbench. We got scrap iron going to work. One of the first things I bought, one of the first things I bought the first thing I bought from Chris was the scrap iron mission crate, where that right there, that Vulcan cannon, there's 2 of them that come in a crate that go into scrap iron's drone and make it a drone with Vulcan cannons. And then there's another tray underneath it that you can put the missiles into, and it all closes. It's in a, that stuff's all over there. I should have had pictures of that if I was going to talk about it, but I saw that. And then he has a Firefly mission crate that stores all the Firefly stuff from the classified things. Sis3arsenal.com, Destro Designs will get you 10% off as a promo code. And we're going to end it with one of my shots. So the exposure is a little overblown on this one. I might take it. I came across it the other day and I threw it on here. I might take it to I didn't use Lightroom at the time. So I'm going to turn down that exposure, bring the contrast up a little bit, bring the shadows through, and lower the whites just a hair and crank the black a little bit. Now, everything that you see here, actually the walls in the background, the behind the locker setup, those are actually not Chris's. That's something separate that I had used just for this shoot. But the green floor is actually from Mo's mine. It's a separate top of the outpost. But I'll go left to right in the back. You see the locker setup, and then there's 1, 2, 3 separate style pieces of the locker setup. So if you look right behind Tripwire, you'll see that is a primary rack, which I showed you one of those. That's what that is. The one next to it has a double door drawer that's on the bottom right below, right behind Tripwire. And then to the right of it, where you see I've got the 2, what are they? 2 AKs. And that also is another bookshelf style kind of thing. They're just amazing. It's if you can get your hands on, this goes for anybody, get your hands on a set like this, you will not be mad you spent the money. Go to the front. We've got that black and gray where you see it's 9 tubes. You can take 3 of those tops come off and you can hold actual missiles. Now they all open, but only 3 of them are deep enough to put, basically the ones that are in there now are the penetrating rounds you see just to the right of it. So there's that black tray where there's 4 warhead looking jammies, and then the end is 2 of the penetrating rounds for a tank. The colors on that there, the green with the yellow stripe, yellow indicates high explosive. Chris does his research for all that stuff. It's all true to form. So really looks awesome. Then we have a couple of his mission crates that sport the different Joe logos, and yellow stripe is high explosive. Yep. Very dope. It's very good. Thank you, Dave. Barrel. God, another word escaping me. The barrel right there, totally awesome. I have a black one. I have that's that way. I'm sorry, that green one, and then I have a blue one that's like that because it is in the design of an oil drum. I have a blue one and a black of this right here. This is a different design. This is just a little bit different. You ever see those blue chlorine jugs? That's basically what this is. That is the exact shape. 55-gallon. It's got the open the air, the whole thing. Top comes off. Top comes off. You could store stuff in there, and that's it. So I can talk to I'm blue in the face about the stuff that's over there, but sis3darsenal.com here. You know what? Just in case anybody is wondering, it is if you look at his comments, it's the exact same thing, but sis3darsenal.com, and then I will also make these separate. There we go. I hit the wrong button. Okay, and then we want to use just Destro Designs. No 10 on that one. Hold on. Okay. My typing is so atrocious. Destro Designs will get you 10% off at Sis3 Arsenal. Now, just go look at the 3-hour voice. Well, Dave, the problem is what happened. I took that. My voice was tempered. I took that 9 days off from when I did right before I left for vacation. I did my show on Thursday, and I didn't do it until the following Saturday. And somehow it's like lost its luster a little bit. I haven't been like talking. Yeah, no, I do usually have. I got a bag of it's funny. Spencer's later. They are actual Ricola. I have a bag of them somewhere, but I cleaned up the other day and it went. But we are wrapping it up anyway. So that's what's up. So yeah, sis3arsenal.com, Destro Designs for 10% off. The Etsy, Matt's Etsy. I will drop that one more time. Follow, take that over there, see what he's got for you. Oh, good. It does show up as an actual link. So you can take that right over there. Use Destro Designs 10 on his Etsy to get you 10% off. One more note for Sis3D Arsenal. If you happen to be like an Etsy premium person that gets the free shipping from Etsy, you can still find Chris's stuff on the Sis3D Arsenal on Etsy. And then you could use Destro Designs 10 there, get your 10% off, and then use your Etsy premium for the old 10% off. And I think that's it, brother. We are gonna say goodnight to everybody. Why don't you let us know everywhere we can find you and what is next for you, my brother?
Oh man, so it's Toy Picks pretty much everywhere. If you can't find me as Toy Picks with an I, look for me as Toy Picks with a 1 in place of the I.
So Instagram, Facebook.
What's that?
Instagram, Facebook. Are you on there as well?
I am on. So on Instagram and on Threads, I'm Toy Picks with a 1 instead of an I. Everywhere else, I'm Toy Picks with an I. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, and I'm on X.
Okay. I promoted the show. I don't know why. I thought I looked and I didn't see. Okay, so I'll go back. I'll adjust.
No, it's not your fault. Like there's a guy on Instagram that has Toy Picks. Yep. He's posted 11 images of Legos.
Oh.
And the last time he posted was something in 2017. I've tried to contact him a couple times. Haven't heard from him. So until Instagram decides to take down his page.
Right.
Toy Picks with a 1.
Man, that sucks, bro. Hopefully, so, it's almost like, it would be nice if you could reach out and say, hey, he's not responding to me. Can you see if he's even opening and if he's not, please give me the thing. So, okay. So yeah, I hope everybody took note. I will adjust that in the show notes to make sure so when it's up on YouTube, when people come to watch, if they want to follow you, whatever social media they're on, they'll be able to see it in the show notes. So that's fantastic. And then is the second account just on Twitter?
The second account I've got in all those places as well. I'm not sure I've got it on I think I've got it on Facebook as well, but it's the same kind of thing. Like on Threads, it'll be with a 1. On Instagram, It's with a 1, something like that. But yeah, I would say the main places to look for bot picks is on Threads and on X. Like I've been using those a lot. This is where I'm testing things. Basically, if you're into trying to grow your stuff, look and see what I'm doing on bot picks, because if I see that growth is slowing down, I'm going to try and move it so growth is kicking back in. So just if you're trying to promote your own stuff, follow that. Follow all kinds of people that know way more about me than they're about social media than I do, and figure it out as you go. Because I mean, there is, if either of us want this to be our thing, you got to grow it, you know, and you got to figure out how to do it. And I think that for me, X is, it's just a lower time investment. Like I should be doing more videos, but you know how long it takes to edit a video, you know?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So, I mean, yeah, it gets to be a pain. And I got a lot of videos. So one thing you guys might want to look up on Toy Picks is I do a lot of, or I have done a lot of photography, action figure photography tutorials. I've got a playlist on there. So check that out on YouTube. That might be helpful if, you know, if you check that out, and maybe you'll get some tips. Like I say, I'm not the guy that's going to tell you what you must do. I'm the guy that's going to tell you what I do. And if you like what I do, maybe it'll help you out, you know?
That's fucking awesome. And you have a Patreon, right? You have Patreon as well?
I do have a Patreon. Toy Picks has a Patreon. Right now we're running a photo contest. It's the $5 tier. And what you'll get if you win is this guy with his loadout set.
Okay.
So,
ooh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
anybody that wants to enter that, go to the Patreon, find it. Or if you have an X account, look on X. I post about that quite a bit. We're coming down to the wire. So I'm going to be posting about that every day this week, like 5 days to go, 4 days to go, because it ends on July 31st at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time. PM.
Okay. That's fucking great. Dude, I want to officially invite you to, so I had my other favorite photographers, you know, Mate Mylar, like I had said, Sean from Complete Carnage Photography, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Oh my God, I can't believe it. The gentleman from Yojo Collectibles. He's on Facebook and Instagram, prolific photographer, tells such an amazing story with like what appear to be, you're like, oh, this isn't even a complicated photo, but you're like, you have to know how to do it. You have to know right how to put the camera, how slow to move it around the figure. And he's great. So what I'm trying, they all agreed that they were interested. If you're interested, I'd like to have a mega photography show where we'll have pictures of everybody's works, where we'll pull them up. We'll kind of talk about them. We'll celebrate, you know, all the goodness that is you guys in your photography. And if we can coordinate everybody on the same either Friday or a Saturday, I think if I remember correctly, Sunday might even wind up being the best, because I think two of those three other guys, like it was a Sunday, Monday was the best days for them. But anyways, we'll talk about that further down the line. And if you're interested, I feel like it would be fitting to have you on the pantheon of these toy photographers.
Well, I appreciate it. I would absolutely love to be on that.
Definitely.
Nothing else. I could pick their brains.
Yeah, right. And they're all just like how we talked about Mate. They're all equally as giving with the knowledge and the information, and everybody can learn a lot from that. So I think it's great. Yeah, awesome. So make sure you heard where to find the man. Make sure you're checking him out. I am Destro Designs for all podcast and toy news. Viper Den Studios for all of my finished work. I just post too much other crap. You would never see my finished work. You could scroll, because especially now where they're so few and far between. Now it is like that on every social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads. I still have yet to load anything on Threads. I'm going to sit down one day and fill it with everything I have. But yeah, they can find me on all 5 of those. If you're here now, the YouTube is Destro Designs. We generally do live from Viper Den Studios Saturday night, 8 o'clock. I deviate sometimes. Next Saturday, the 1st, I have the gentleman from GI Retro coming in. He's got a Twitter account, but he also has a YouTube page where he's going through like doing a watch through of Sumbo episodes, and it's just fantastic. He knows his stuff. It's a very well produced show. Everything is great. I absolutely love it. So yeah, he's going to be a great interview. And then fast forward, I'm going to jump on something I wanted to mention. On August 15th, it is my birthday, and I'm trying to put together just like a blockbuster show in a sense. I'll probably have, a core group of, 2 or 3 people besides myself. and then I will cycle through as many people that want to jump on, right? If I can schedule some people, I have, other guests that have been on previously that just want to stop by. We'll shoot the shit, hang out for a minute. I may throw like a couple questions to people. So I'll be like, oh, okay, joining us now is so-and-so. Hey, what's your favorite classified? What's the classified you want the most? What is your favorite Sumbo episode? Just questions I'll get out to everybody at a time. We'll see how it works out. But I think that's the first time I've said anything. I haven't even mentioned it on the timeline. So to the 1st to the 8th to the 15th, 3 weeks from now is going to be the big birthday bash. So everybody mark that dates on your calendar. I know I already talked to CG Horror. He will be here with us full time. And then, other guys I spoke to, Conrad and Dan Salcedo, curator Dan Collects. If you haven't seen Dan's latest video, it is blowing up. I think he's hitting like 5,000 views, which for us is blowing up. And it's a fantastic video. And basically what it is, it's the most valuable classifieds. And he talks about what it started out as and basically what it's selling at, not what people are asking, what it's selling at. And you'd be surprised what a lot of the ones in there are. I definitely wouldn't have guessed a lot of them, to be honest with you. And some of them I wouldn't have guessed were that much. I would have been like, oh, I've heard this is a lot, but it's how much more now? And it's pretty crazy. So make sure you're checking that out. Subscribe to Curator Dan Collects. You can catch me on Mondays with my brother Mark Fogarty over at Destro as my spirit animal. I can't believe I actually hadn't mentioned this yet. I can't talk about what the show is on Monday, but I guess everybody could make a guess about all the action that happened this week. But we got two dudes who were actually there that are going to be with us talking about the SDCC and everything from there. It's going to be an awesome show. So if anybody that's bad, really should have mentioned that earlier. I can't believe it, how I didn't. You want to definitely check that out on Monday. I'm excited for it. I've actually booked nothing for Tuesday because I know we're going to be probably up late talking about all this.
You're going to be done on Tuesday.
Yes, I'm going to do a little bit of office stuff in the morning, and then I do have to go somewhere like a little later in the afternoon, but that's fine. I'll take a nap if I have to. And then so Tuesdays and Fridays, I'm dropping articles at serpentorslayer.com. We bring it over to X and to all the other places, but just make sure you're heading over to serpentorslayer.com. Get signed up so you can be in the forums. Great stuff going on over there. There's a lot of great writers. I know G.I. Davis dropped some stuff. R.A. Rain is dropping stuff over there. And oh my God, I feel like there's somebody else too. Well, Yorktown Joe is one of the current writers. Our brother himself dropped stuff, photos, everything. So just make sure you're following it. Like I said, on Thursday, I wrote the article was it's time, it's time to take pictures of your toys. Honestly, my memory is so bad. I don't even remember what I wrote about on Monday. Oh my God. But it's all basic kind of weaving in lifestyle and through the prism of being an obsessed collector of GI Joes, right? I often reference other things and I keep it like one article that I wrote was about the period of time that I went from that I just all the things we talked about earlier with that 1 year where it was version 2 low light and all that shit and how I wound up kissing a girl, smoking some weed and having I wrote like those moments out, but it weaves in with the collecting. It's what literally pry barred me away from being such a truly obsessed person. So yeah, catch me over there. That's Tuesdays and Fridays. Stay tuned for Shadow Strike Comic. Going to be here soon. You're going to get the booklet first, where I'm just going to kind of I have this cool idea of how I can get the lore put out onto paper and in a way that will be great reading. But then everybody will come away with more of a knowledge of what universe this is taking place in, the time frames, the technology, how did they get here? Like what happened? I'll have a bulk of those questions answered all in that booklet. And then as Roadblock releases figures, they'll come with the comics, right? You'll be able to, maybe get a figure that's going to have a QR code that'll get you the digital comic and stuff like that. It's going to be
that idea. That's what I feel like so much is missing today. Is you need the story. You got to build up these characters.
100%. I mean, because even the best looking figure will be served better by having some kind of a story that goes with it. And I feel like he and I talked a couple times, like two of them were like multiple hour conversations. And we just kind of like, I was like, this is what I'm thinking. Does this work? And then boom, we just kind of went through. And so I'm still like at the notes phase. I'm just going to have to buckle down and sit there for like 3 days and I'll be able to blow out the majority of that booklet, right? Just 24 hours of writing, and then what I'll do is I'll go back, I'll do editing, punch ups. It'll be like, oh, this drags here. Let me just move it along on this, and then we'll get it. I'll give a tease for it. How I wanted to do it is it's going to be 2 parts to the booklet. Okay. On one side, it's going to be the Dark Legion Queen walking through the Dark Legion headquarters, basically. And this woman is going to be one of the very few actual true human people that the AI Queen trusts. And they're going to have a conversation as she's trying to recruit her for something specific. And in that conversation, I will reveal a whole bunch of things. There'll be questions and just stuff mentioned in random sentences and just things that you'll be able to formulate. And then it's going to be something similar on the Shadow Strike side. So the Citadel are the good guys. Shadow Strike is like their elite unit, right? The best of the best is in Shadow Strike. And so it's going to be the head guy from the Citadel walking with what is going to be the new recruit. And actually, I'll tell you which one it's going to be. It's the one figure most people have been asking about. It's going to be the double-axed guy that comes with the 2 wolves. He's going to be the guy that's being recruited for Shadow Strike. And that's going to be the conversation with the head guy from the Citadel. All questions will be largely answered. And then, like I said, comic books coming down the line. I also mentioned I'm working on an amazing G.I. Joe project with my brother Sean from Complete Carnage Photography. He just had some ideas. I threw something out there. He came back with some more stuff, and I feel like we're getting the framework for something really awesome. So stay tuned for that as well. We've got a lot going on between the two.
Sounds like it.
A lot of accounts, a lot of stuff. But that's what it's all about. You got to do what makes you happy. And shout out to the community for just being an amazing and awesome place. We have so much fun over there on Twitter. It's kind of branched out to some of the other social medias, which is great. But Twitter is always going to be home base for all that stuff. Yep. And so, my brother, I'll tell you the same thing I tell all my guests. Time is our most valuable commodity. So when somebody gives me their time to come on the show and talk about literally all the different stuff we talked about, I appreciate it on like the deepest of levels, right? So it's a couple hours on a Saturday night. It's late. And I think we had an absolute blast. That's why when you look down and it's like, I did the same thing. I was like, holy shit, we're going for 11 already. And that was an hour ago. So right. the time just goes by. I think it was great. I appreciate all the tips and tricks that you threw out there. I thought they were all very digestible, but yet incredibly helpful things. So I can't thank you enough for that. Again,
thank you for having me. You kept it going. I mean, that's why we both looked at, holy, really?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it's, there's a lot of the different, I was interested to hear how G.I. Joe played into your overall collecting, right? Because you've got quite a bit of different stuff. And I think that is awesome. I think, when you have that much stuff, you can do it. Just you're almost a better storyteller with your photos when you're diversified with what you have. I think it can only add to the helping. But we were able to, get the crew to view, see how you view G.I. Joe and how it played into your universe ultimately. And I think everything came out great. Brother Cal and Call Sign Smash, Naga Hyde, everybody saying, jumping on after the concert. Can't wait to watch everything on replay. Appreciate you all. Naga Hyde, thank you so much, my brother. And thank you so much to the chat. You guys are half the show, right? Every time we checked in with y'all, you had something funny going on. And that's no different. Every week it's the same thing. It's a whole amorphous life on the other side that's happening there. But I love it. They're all my brothers. Every once in a while there's a sister in there. Appreciate her stopping by too. But yes, we're going to wrap it up and we're going to go. Everybody, enjoy the rest of what's left of your Saturday night. The rest of the weekend is here. Make sure you enjoy that as well. And we will see y'all in those Twitter streets. Dave, thank you again one more time. I appreciate it. We are out of here, brother.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
Later, y'all.
See ya.